I love saying this. It's a football Friday. It is a legitimate football Friday heading into week 2. By the way, we got college football tonight. College football over the weekend. We had a game last night. It's September. It's a liar's month. How many times do we have to tell you? We'll also give you our prediction for Sunday's Kansas City Chiefs, Philadelphia Eagle game. Don't forget the pre and post game. We will have that for you right here on JAKIB Sports. Please do me a favor and hit the like button. Super chats all go to the top. It's a great time in the calendar. Also, the Packers and Redskins last night. Massive schedule, as we said, in the NFL. And by the way, let me give you a little bit of an insight last night, because I see a bunch of losers in here. They were taking on the Packers. You struggled against the shitty Dallas Cowboys. I pumped the brakes. Those were 2 playoff teams. You struggled against the football team that might win 7 games this year. Relax. I mean, I hear people going, well, the Commanders last night, the Packers look like the best team in the NFC, but it's September. You guys struggled and got beat up in the O-line and D-lines against the Dallas Cowboys. Packers and Commanders, those are legitimate teams. Cowboys are not. End of story. How you doing? Okay? You can make all the stupid excuses up you want. Divisional game. Well, what we see last night? We saw a conference game last night. Somebody that we'll see we will see those 2 teams in the playoffs. You won't see the Dallas Cowboys. You know where you'll see the Cowboys? In the top 10 when it comes to April's draft next year. And it's funny because you get Eagle fans going, that Redskins team last night, not that good. And you're like, well, who the fuck did you beat? You guys beat the shitty Cowboys. Congratulations to you. Okay. Now you got a shitty Kansas City Chiefs team. We'll see. Anyway, we appreciate everybody coming aboard. Please hit the like button. All right. Here will be and how I see this game playing out on Sunday. Eagles roll into Kansas City. What do I see happening? To me, it's going to come down to Kevin Patullo, and it's going to come down to Steve Spagnuolo in this game. And it's going to come, Matt Eberflus coached the pants off of Kevin Patullo. Kevin Patullo did not have a very good game on last Thursday against the Cowboys. He was not very good. Jalen Hurts was excellent. Kevin Patullo couldn't even get the football to his wide receivers. And it was all Jalen Hurts, in my opinion. I mean, that ad-libbing and being able to run the football, Jalen Hurts was a star in that football game. Kevin Patullo, well, play calling in that football game was suspect at best. And get this. Well, here, I'll make this point to you guys. Either you're blaming Jalen Hurts or you're blaming Patullo, or both, for that shitty game plan. Prince, stripper sills always with excuses. No, get this. That's not an excuse. That's a fact. Packers are a great team. Cowboys are not. It's not an excuse. It's a fact. It's a fact. Okay? Nobody would ever say that the Dallas Cowboys are a playoff team or a team that could win the Super Bowl. Nobody would say that. Okay? Nobody would go down that lane and say that. Not one person would say that. Nobody would say that. Okay? That football team is a situation where you would look at the Dallas Cowboys and go, well, hey, Hey, by the way, Green Bay knocked the pants off of the Detroit Lions, who won 15 ball games. So in the last 2 weeks, they beat a team that won a division and another team that was a 10-plus win. The Cowboys won, what, 5 games last year? Give me a break. What are we talking about here? I'll get into that Packer game. Absolutely, man. Hey, folks, those aren't excuses. That's September. I don't know what Green Bay is yet. We made the same conversations last year about the New Orleans Saints, on how good the Saints were. We made the same talk about them scoring 40 points. The Eagles, on the other hand, were struggling in September. Hang in there. September is a liar's month. Hang your hat there. Okay? All right. How do I see, again, the Kansas City game? I think the Eagles go into this game, and what I would do is run the football, and I would make sure that I owned time of possession, and I would do the one thing that the Chargers did in this game. I would threaten the edges on Kansas City. Kansas City had a tough time containing the edges against the Chargers' run game and against Justin Herbert. They struggled big time at doing that in that football game. And when you have Jordan Mailata and you have Lane Johnson, you got just a tandem to take that job and I think really threaten Kansas City. I don't believe Landon Dickerson is healthy. And in this football game, Kansas City has the advantage inside because of Chris Jones. You don't have the advantage. Now, if Dickerson were healthy, I'd probably give that advantage to the Philadelphia Eagles all across the board, but you don't have that. The question is going to be if Landon Dickerson can finish the game, not start the game. Starting the game is not the issue here. It's finishing the game. Okay? Finishing the game will be the issue for Landon Dickerson. Okay? All right. On the other side of the football, here are the advantages that Kansas City has by far over you. The quarterback and the coordinator. Your quarterback is nowhere in the conversation of Patrick Mahomes, and your coordinator is nowhere in the conversation of Andy Reid. Now, Reid versus Vic, that's a pretty good matchup. And Vic got the best of him 9 months ago. Kyle, Sills, I understand that Darius Smith is older, but could he help big with the Chiefs' 2 offensive tackles? Absolutely. Now, again, what kind of condition is he in? Is he going to be able to play? How many percentage of the snaps do you get this? Ask yourself this, Kyle. Michael Parsons is a younger football player, right? He's a younger player. And they're working him into the Packers scheme, and they're working him into playing shape, right? Well, Zadarius Smith didn't even have training camp. He's an older player. He's got no help. I mean, he's not had any conditioning. How many plays is he going to play in this game against Kansas City? 5, 6, 15, 20? What kind of shape is he going to be in to play in this game on Sunday? How much of a pass rush situation is he going to be able to play in? So I don't know what kind of shape he's in yet. We're going to find out on Sunday. He may be in fabulous shape. I don't know yet. Okay? Andy Reid is a Hall of Fame football coach. Andy Reid struggled versus Vic last time. If I was Patrick Mahomes, I'm definitely going right after your shitty safety and your shitty corner. Just like he did in the Super Bowl when Dre Greenlaw went down. Go right after them. They cannot cover. Let me tell you this. Average wide receivers become very good wide receivers with a guy like Patrick Mahomes. Great receivers become sensational receivers with a guy like Patrick Mahomes. You don't have very good talent at safety and corner, and you're going against a generational talent. I don't really care who the wideouts are. I saw a guy beat you with Juju Smith-Schuster before. When Darius Slay was still in his prime, I saw him win. And whatever you roll out there won't be good enough. You don't have the corner. And here's the thing. If you don't have the pressure, which you barely did in that Cowboy game, you barely had any pressure on getting to the quarterback. Now, all this being said, I just think there's too much talent on that side of the ball with the Eagles. There's just too much talent, and there's enough talent on defense. Let's be candid here. You're not the same football team that you were 9 months ago. But for the record, if you're not the same football team, Kansas City's not the same football team that got their ass kicked in the Super Bowl either. And I don't mean that in a good way. I think they're weaker in the O-line. I think they're weaker at the skilled positions. I think they're older at tight end. I mean, I don't know where they got better. Where did the Kansas City Chiefs get better? Where you could possibly say, hey, you know what? There's an advantage. Now, they have a massive advantage at quarterback and at head coach. But that didn't play out 9 months ago. Okay? It didn't. Sills, you're my dog. It's been 2 games. Do you think Washington has what it takes? The quarterback is struggling. No, he's not. September. Your defense is struggling. Your run game is struggling. Do you think that's an indictment on your season? Your running game is struggling. Is that an indictment? Am I ready to go there? No. September. Your defense struggled. Is that an indictment? No. It's September. So no. You played the Packers, dude. The Packers have great energy right now. Great energy because of the Parsons deal. Will that energy keep up? Jordan Love was great last night. Jordan Love still showed me he's Jordan Love. I'm not sold that guy could play 17 games and then go in and win 4 in a row. No way. Are you really sold that that quarterback can win 4 games in a row in the postseason based off of 2 games in September? Again, you'll see the game differently than me because I'm not here to crown anybody in September or anything. You are not going to have me sit here and go, the Packers, they look really good right now. So how good are they going to look in week 8? Let me ask you that. Let's go there before we get to the topics. How many people are willing to say that the Packers are the team to beat in the NFC right now, based off of 2 games in September? After what you saw last year with New Orleans, yes or no? How many people will say that? Okay? No? No one. No one. Then what's the conversation here? No. Not every team's the Saints? Okay, I asked you, do you believe that what you saw last night, the Packers are going to run the table and be the team to beat in the NFC? I'm not willing to say that. Are you? Oh, wait. It's a liar's month unless you're the Packers. Oh, I see. You mean like last year when you were 2-2 and you wanted to fire your coach? And everybody in Philadelphia was screaming for the firing of Nick Sirianni. And then you guys go on and you win every game that Jalen Hurts was healthy in. and you went on and won 16, 17 games in a row when you were 2-2. You were ready to say that? Okay. Sills wanted to fire Nick? Probably. So did you. So did everyone. But not you, senor. I know you're a revisionist. Oh, I know that. Everybody in here is a revisionist. I got it. Carson Wentz, I always thought he sucked, and I thought we'd win the Super Bowl. And I thought Nick, after 23 and then the first 4 games, I thought he was a great coach. I know all you revisionists in here. No, I know. I know. Anyway, their quarterback hasn't proven he can win enough in the playoffs. That was a pretty good win he had a couple of years ago in Dallas. I will say that. Okay, do me a favor, guys. Please hit the like button. We appreciate it. So let's get to the topics. So I haven't given you a score yet. I don't think Kansas City has any kind of run game. Mahomes is the game. I think the Chargers, hey, I'll tell you this. The Chargers looked as impressive as the Packers did in week 1. They looked excellent against a team that was in the Super Bowl. Now, I think, again, you got to remember here's the difference with the Green Bay Packers. How many people in here know who the youngest team in the NFL is? Who's the youngest team in the NFL? Do you guys know? Who is the youngest team? Do you know in the NFL? Right now, heading into this season, the Green Bay Packers. And they added a superstar football player in Micah Parsons. Okay? They added a superstar player who's also a young player, which is insane. It's absolutely insane. We're not talking about a 30-year-old Myles Garrett. We're talking about a young 24-year-old, 25-year-old star in Micah Parsons. Sills, are you working on getting Merrill on your morning show? No, we're going to leave that alone. I don't want to aggravate Merrill Reese. And I think, you know what? All good. I'm not looking to have trouble, but thank you very much for asking. I'm not looking. I don't really care to get in a back and forth with the Eagles and Bob Lang over Merrill Reese. I love him to death, and you guys know that. Okay? He's like 26. Okay, so you got a 26-year-old superstar on your football team. So let me give you the score here. What do I see Sunday as a score? I don't believe Kansas City has a run game. I think they have some good players in the O-line. I think they'll have some good situational matchups against you. Mahomes will throw for a lot of yards in this game. He'll spread the ball around, and they've got good football players on that team. I think it'll be close early, but I think the Eagles wear them out. Now, will they be able to if they get the run game going? And I'll tell you something else, some signs here. If Philadelphia can't have Saquon Barkley get over 60 yards in this ball game, you got a problem in your run game. It'll be the 3rd game in a row if Barkley hasn't gone over 70 yards. That'll be 3 games in a row that he has been stuffed. So I'm looking for Barkley. What's he look like? Did 2024 really take its toll on him, or does he go for 140, which he should go for in this game? If this guy doesn't get over 70 yards, you could have a problem in your run game. No Becton and a hurt Landon Dickerson. And then you head into the Rams and then the Buck game. Hey, and for the record, the Bucks are getting Tristan Wirfs back Monday night. He'll be ready for that Eagle game. I don't know if Chris Godwin will be in that game. I think the Bucks got their hands full Monday night against the Texans. because they got that Luke Goedeke guy who I don't think is going. And they got Donnell Hunter, and they also have Will Anderson. I think the Bucs are going to lose that game on Monday night. We'll get to our predictions later on in the show, and we'll talk more about that. But because, again, the reason we're bringing these up, Packers, Bucs, Rams, those are all teams that are going to fight for the NFC. Okay? Those are all teams that are going to be in the pot and in the hat when we're talking about NFC teams. So, score. What do you guys think and score for this game on Sunday? And I'll tell you where I'm landing. Okay? No. What I just said was, I think worse may go on fucking Monday, guy. They don't play for 3 more weeks. Jesus criminy. He'll be ready to go. He'll play Monday. They'll play against the Jets. And then the following week, they play the Eagles. What a stupid ass. 26-17. 28-17. 35-16. I would say this. For me, Hurts will figure it out. My problem is Kevin Patullo in this game. We're going to talk more about that. I have the Eagles winning this game 34-19. I think, again, if you take 7 off, I think you can have a game and it'll hang around with an 8-pointer, and then you'll have the Eagles late putting a touchdown up, and then you're going to see, I think, Zach Bond and those guys and Jalen Carter get to Patrick Mahomes, and I think they close the game out. I just don't think Kansas City has enough talent. As good as Mahomes is, I don't think he can throw himself out of trouble here. They've got to be able, in my opinion, to find some type of run game in this game, and I'm talking Kansas City. I don't believe that they're going to find enough offense, especially in play action. Or, how about this? Mahomes is going to have to ad-lib more. I'll give you this. If Patrick Mahomes goes for over 275 yards passing and he has like 60 yards rushing, they'll win. But I don't see that. I don't see who he's getting the ball to. I just don't see it. I don't see how they get to those numbers with the people that they have on the field. There's just not enough skill. Unless Travis Kelce gets Steve and starts drinking from the fountain of middle age, I just don't see it. And again, this is going to come down to Kevin Patullo, and we're going to talk about that here. We'll do it right now. Kevin Patullo was underwhelming in game 1. You know what? It's funny. If you listen to the Philly media, they're patting the guy on the back for Jalen Hurts being able to run the ball, not throw the ball. Jalen had 1 throw in the game that was of any significance. The Dotson throw. Had 1 throw in the game. 1 throw. The rest of it was his wheels. He didn't call those plays. That was Hurts ad-libbing. That was Hurts on the fly. He didn't call those plays. It was 1 significant pass play. You couldn't get the football to your wideouts. Again, do this. Either do this, guys. Either he couldn't get the ball to the wideouts, or it was Kevin Patullo, or both. Pick one. Which is it? Pick one of those. Jalen not being able to find the wideouts, Patullo not being able to scheme these guys up, or it was the receivers weren't able to get open. Okay, Pick one. Which is it? Do you really think A.J. Brown can't get open? I don't believe that. Do you really think that Hurts can't see guys wide open? He had the most time of any quarterback in the NFL last week. I don't. It's Kevin Patullo. Some people in there are saying Jalen. I don't believe it's Jalen. Now, listen, he missed 4 throws. This is a Kevin Patullo game. Like I said, here's the things coming out of September you got to look at. So far, out of game 1, health of Dickerson. CB2. Your safety position. Your pass rush. Your coordinator. Spreading the ball around. I'll tell you something. I watched the Green Bay Packers last night with no effort, spreading the ball around, playing great defense. What's your excuse? You played the Cowboys. How come in 2 weeks the Packers look like that and you farted around with the Cowboys? Oh, week 1. So wait a minute. Jessica says it's week 1. So that doesn't apply to the Commanders though, right? That doesn't apply. Oh, I see. But the Cowboys don't, right? Washington sucks, but the Cowboys don't. I see. This is classic. Classic Eagle green glasses. What is Jalen's strength in the passing game? People throw the most obnoxious thing out there. He could throw a good deep pass. Deep passers don't win Super Bowls. Smart quarterbacks do. But you're asking me in the passing game? His strength? The most insignificant thing that you can have. He throws a nice deep ball. So what? And you know what he doesn't do? Get this. So you're telling me Jalen throws a great deep pass and he throws a shitty short pass because there's no screen game in your offense. Think about that. He's horrible at screen passes, but he's great in deep throws. The reason that you don't have a 4,000-yard passer and sometimes you can't get the ball to your wideouts because you don't have an underneath game. You don't throw across the middle, and you don't have a screen game. You think there's any – it's got to be the only passing team in pro football that doesn't have a screen game or throw across the middle. It's the only football team that does that. Right? And so what he does is he ad-libs with his legs and does a fabulous job of it. Jalen does a really good job at playing to his weaknesses. Guys wide open, he'll take off and make up for it. He does. If Jalen is looking for running lanes, explain to me how he's scanning the field looking for receivers. Well, then if he's scanning the receivers and looking for people wide open, then you're blaming Devontae and AJ for not getting open, right? Shady, it's one or the other. Either the quarterback sees them or either the receivers aren't being schemed open or they can't get open. Pick one. I'll wait for it. Which one is it? Which one is it? Either the quarterback can't see. He has all the time in the world. The receivers can't get open or the coordinator can't scheme him open. Which is it? No, I've heard you say several times. He was. 4 times he was open. He missed 4 throws. Okay? Sills is just chatting one day. He's glazing it. No. Glazing, I haven't changed anything from what I said from last Thursday. Nothing has been changed. Jalen had a great day with his legs, made a key throw in the game. They couldn't scheme the wide receivers open. Jalen missed some throws. The defense sucked at corner and safety, and you got no pressure on the quarterback. And Dickerson was hurt, and Carter was out. There's nothing changed off that, son. There's nothing been deviated off that. I haven't moved off that. That's how that game was played out. I'm not changing nothing. I mean, wait a minute. You're on your knees glazing Hurts yesterday because he figured it out. On my knees? That'd be your head coach. Wrong guy. He's the one that scrapes his knees around bullshitting you about your culture and lying to you like an asshole in front of people when all he has to say is, even every single guy who's covered that team said it here too. Same thing with Marcus Hayes yesterday. He doesn't do it very well. He was a bullshit artist. Even Marcus Hayes said that. Howard said it. Angelo said it. Everybody has said it that covers the team. Has said he's a bullshit artist. I wasn't like I'm the only one saying it. A guy who writes for the Philadelphia Inquirer said, Nick doesn't do a very good job, and that was a poor excuse. I mean, that's the dude that's writing right now stories for you. I mean, there he is, knee pad Sirianni. That's what basically he was saying too. Nothing I said different. Seals, can you tell me? Thank you very much, Pump. Appreciate that on this Football Friday, brother. Okay, Seals, can you tell me why the passing game is always a question with Jalen Hurts and a QB team? It's funny. Are you talking about Alabama too? The passing game was questioned in Alabama. Honestly, do not know why the offense is pedestrian. Dude, you're so good with talent on that offensive side of the ball. The scheme is almost irrelevant now. You run a high school football scheme. Run right, run left. If the open wide receiver's there, great. If not, take off running quarterback. Isn't that a pump? Tell me if this is not the offense. Throw to AJ, throw to Devontae. If nothing's open, run. And then turn around and give it to Barkley. Right? I mean, I don't know what else to say. And they're so gifted and so good, they get the job done. No shade. I told you before, one of the things that, it is a high school offense. It's predictable as hell, but here's the thing. They can't, but Pump. It's a high school offense, and NFL defense can't stop. I mean, I'd rather be simple. I would rather be simple in an offense than and be able to run people over and beat people than be complicated like John Gruden's offense. John Gruden's offense is so difficult. But yet, get this. He's 117 and 115 as a NFL head coach. He's never developed any quarterback on the planet. But they can't stop the Eagle offense. The Eagle offense is so anti-John Gruden. But they've won 2 Super Bowls and been to 3 in the last 8 years. What would you rather have? A complex offense like John Gruden, or would you rather have a simple one that no one can stop? I'll take the simple one that no one can stop with less possible turnovers. Right? Okay. So this is a Kevin Patullo game. By the way, I want to get to something here on Kevin Patullo. I watched one of the greatest videos in the history of how you evaluate a quarterback and how you develop a quarterback. It is so fabulous. Tom Brady puts and dispels everything that you guys think about your boy Bobo Petulo in perspective. Colin Cowherd sounded like many of you in here. Well, I give a quarterback in year 2, Thanksgiving, before I make an assessment on whether or not this guy is a good quarterback or not. Brady, listen to this. Let me go to some of the things he said. And Brady was listening. And then when Cowherd was done, he goes, well, that's fine. You think like that. And most of you in here think like that. You think Kevin Petulo, because he was next in line, Brady shoots him down like he's a dove in the air. He makes your boy Kevin Petulo look stupid as a hire. Stupid. Let's go to the guy who won 7 Super Bowls. So it was a masterclass. I posted it. Simple as in simple, Jack. Like it. Seals, can you dissect quarterback one's game? I honestly believe he excels in the handoff game. I got you, Pump. Pump, listen to this. Brady turned around and said, you guys have all these lists of quarterbacks and where they are when it comes to ranking them. Do you ever have a list when it comes to ranking the coordinators? Do they develop the coordinators? Do the quarterbacks know how to go to personnel directors? Brady was talking like this. After I sit down with my coaches, I go to the personnel department because I was told to by Belichick. I'll tell you this. The biggest notion that Belichick didn't develop Brady into being the greatest quarterback of all time was put to bed today by Tom Brady. Tom Brady owes every single thing that made him great to Bill Belichick. It's a 50-50 deal in New England. It's not Brady. It's both of those men. It was a masterclass, and Brady explained it. I know some of you don't want to believe it, but here, where would you rank Kevin Petulo as an offensive coordinator in the NFL, having never called plays? Brady would ask you that. For a Super Bowl MVP, rank Kevin Petulo out of the 32 coordinators based off of never calling a play. And at the end of the day, that bullshit 6. Brady's laughing at you. Brady's laughing at you. He would literally laugh at Leon. Laugh at Leon. He would laugh at him. Where does Kevin Petulo rank as a developer of quarterbacks? Knowing what to do, how to develop. So what? Joe says. So you have the 30th ranked coordinator with an MVP. Brady would say, does he know what he's doing? How would he know what he's doing? Because he was sitting in the room with Nick? What quarterback has Nick ever developed? Kellen Moore didn't develop Jalen Hurts last year. He developed the run game. This was all talked about by Brady. You know what he said? Get this. No, I heard John. No, Belichick took over the quarterbacking coach Brady's second year because unfortunately their quarterback coach, he passed away in camp. Brady came in and said, Belichick would do this. He came in and he would go, this is cover 2. don't put your guys in this position in cover two. Don't put yourself in this position here. And he would sit with Tom Brady and tell Tom Brady, when you go here, you have to look at cover two. Don't put your people in a position where you're putting them into the strength of their defense. Brady was like this. I had an education by the greatest defensive coordinator in the history of the NFL telling me how to put my offense in a position that defensive players would have the advantage. What an absolutely great thing to explain to fans on what you're looking at and how you guys see your coordinators, how you see Brian Johnson, how you don't develop. Then you know what Belichick told Brady to do? He said, listen, go to Nick Caserio or Scott Pioli, and the people you're playing against, go to the personnel people and go, what does Trent McDuffie do the best? What's the one thing he does great? Then he'd go, what's the one thing he does negative? Brady would listen to Belichick, his personnel people, and then Brady would come back and they would put a game plan together. That, to me, right there, is everything you need to know about Kevin Patullo. Does Jalen sit with Howie? I've never heard that. Does he sit with Howie and ask him about the personnel of the Kansas City Chiefs? In all the interviews in 4 years, I've never heard him say, I've had one conversation about it, talking about the people of the opponent. I've never heard that. I'm listening to Tom Brady. I'm not listening to Kevin Patullo. Remember 23, Jalen did message Wink Martindale. Yeah, after the season, the defensive coordinator asked him. He did. What am I doing? Right. Well, Brady had that every single day. Brady knew how to win because Belichick put him in a position to win. It's brilliant. Tom Brady's thoughts were, hey, wait a minute. Before you start talking about a quarterback, are you doing the best to develop the quarterback? How many people believe that rotating coordinators have helped Jalen Hurts develop into being a coordinator? According to Brady, that's horseshit. To Xander's point, he's adapted to it? Probably. To Brady's point, you're not developing him. You're not developing Jalen Hurts as a passer. Jalen Hurts is getting better. And to your point, Pump, he's gotten smarter at what he has to do. Okay? He's gotten smarter at what not to do. Brady would look at the development of Jalen Hurts and laugh at it. They haven't developed him. Hurts is getting better because Hurts studies. Hurts is smart. He thinks he's got a great head on his shoulders. They've questioned Jalen Hurts. You know what, Pump? I never thought about it, but you're dead right. Jalen Hurts' passing game has been questioned since Bama. And it's still here today. Sills, last year, you said that Kellen Moore was a terrible hire. Yeah, because he didn't develop Jalen Hurts. We can't pass the ball, which you couldn't. Can we have more games under our belt to determine what the offense is? I thought it was a month of lights. It is. It is. That's why you can't indict Washington. If you're going to use this same exact super chat, by the way, Prince, thank you. If you're going to use this, you can't indict Washington, right? Sills, I don't disagree with TB12. Nobody here knows what Patullo has or hasn't done. We're not in the room. Big picture, Patullo is the first-time OC who's called one game. He's near the bottom. That's right. You've got somewhere like the 30th ranked offensive coordinator in pro football calling plays for your Super Bowl MVP. And you're right. It's game 2 in his life. How's that helping him? Explain that to me, because it was just explained by the greatest winner in pro football history. Explain that to me, how you have landed that Petula will be okay. Kellen Moore did nothing to improve Jalen Hurts as a passer last year. They won the football running the ball. Nothing. Still takes a shitload of sacks. Couldn't find a guy open in the Cowboy game 4 times. Couldn't even get the football to Devontae or AJ in year 5. Brady's 5 minutes with Coward shoots down anything anybody could say about a first-time OC. Shoots down anything. Get this. The reason I'm not going to many of your thoughts is because it's irrelevant after listening to Brady. You don't know what you're talking about. I am listening to the greatest winner of all time, not some dude in Poughkeepsie, New York. Sills, if we are a running team, why not go to a 3-back rotation? Listen, wait a minute, Kyle. So you want me to take the ball out of the hands of a guy like Saquon Barkley, no disrespect to Tank Bigsby, and then go to A.J. Dillon, and you want me to take the ball out of the better player's hands? Not me. I'm putting the ball in the best player's hands. A.J. Brown, Barkley, and Devontae, and Goddard if he stays healthy. That's where I want the football in the hands in. Okay? Get this. See this here? Down what? You don't want to hear Brady what you're talking about? Down what, guy? What are you talking? I doubt. Down what? Because I explained to you how Brady sees and develops quarterbacks? You guys are just, some of you, I mean, listen, I get it. Some of you come in here just to try to pick a fight. That's fine. I'm not doing that. I don't care anymore. People want to talk football. I'm ready to rock. I'm not getting into some sort of dumbass pissing match because you think you know more than Tom Brady or somebody who's played the game or somebody who's covered the game. I'm not getting in that anymore. Too old for this shit. Brady also said that pre-snap reads are lacking in today's game. Do you think Hurts is making these reads? I think he's getting better at this, Josh. I really do. Especially at the end of last year. And hey, I'll tell you what he did do too. His in-game decision-making. In that game 1, I saw his in-game decision-making. There was something going on with Devontae and AJ and what the Cowboys were doing with Matt Eberflus. He made an in-game adjustment like that and went to went to Jahan Dotson, and then he went to Goddard. And he made those in-game decisions, okay? And he was fantastic. How does what Brady said diminish Washington's loss? It does. Packers are a really good football team in September. Like you weren't a very good football team in September last year. We're going to use the same formula here, guy. That wasn't a great performance by you against Dallas, who's not a playoff team. I'm not holding that against you. I pulled out things from that game to keep an eye on going into the Kansas City game. How many times have I said here, September's a liar's month. Until you get to October, you won't know what your football team is. If you don't like that take, Abe, I can't help you. Sills, what chances will you give Petula to be hired as head coach after the season? 1 to 10? I don't know. Depends on how he adjusts in the season. Kellen Moore wasn't based off of what he did a year ago in throwing the ball. He was based off of because he made an in-season decision to go to the run game. He's a passing coordinator. He's not a run coordinator. I mean, they leaned more on Jeff Stoutland last year than they did on Kellen Moore's passing knowledge. Do you not agree? Seals, use your context to get Brady on the show. Let's discuss it. Yeah, right. I'd love to. I know some of his people, Don Yee, his agent. We'll try to do that. You know me, I'm relentless on stuff, so I'd love to get him on. It was a masterclass. Here, Colin Cowherd, thought he knew. Okay? Thought he knew about, quarterbacking. Brady put him to bed. Seals, keep cooking, sir. You're on the upper echelon of sports media. Your extensive knowledge of the game is invaluable. Another Seals masterclass today. Thank you. Because you know what we do? We take reference points from some of the greatest people on the planet. Jimmy Johnson, Tom Brady, having played, Bill Walsh, people who have taught me the game. Hey, Pump, I used to think that it was all about the arm. You hear people in here, Pump, get this. Hurts throws the best deep ball. Did you ever hear that about Montana? No. You know what was said about Montana? He had the greatest feet. Any quarterback coach or any great offensive coordinator or anybody who's ever developed a great quarterback will never talk about his arm. They'll talk about processing the information, and they'll talk about their feet and knowledge of the game. Nobody talks about their arm. Peyton Manning didn't have an arm. I've never heard anybody talk about deep throws when evaluating a great quarterback, ever. It's always been more about your feet, processing, knowledge of the game, and your study habits. Those are the great ones. Here, when he was asked the question, I'm going to go down this list here because I wrote this down here. I'm hearing Eckler towards. I heard that too. That's the second year in a row now he's got an injury. Get this. Here's Brady said right out of the gate. Are you sure that Chicago knows what they're doing? I think he was taking a shot at Ben Johnson. Are you sure they're developing and know what they're doing with Caleb Williams? Are you sure of that? He goes, I can tell you, 90% of the offensive coordinators in today's NFL don't develop quarterbacks. That includes your boy Patullo. Okay, that includes your boy Patullo. Told you about the Belichick thing. Constantly telling him what to look for. See, Brady would tell you, Caleb sucks. How about the coaches around him? Do they suck? Because you know what the coaches do? They throw their hands up, like Brady said, and go, well, he doesn't get it. Well, what did you teach him? How'd you prepare him? Did you tell him to go to the coordinators? Did you tell him to go to the personnel people? I had never heard that before. I have never heard. Tom Brady said he used to do this. Belichick would teach him how to put his team in his offense in situations that would move the chains. Then Belichick told him, go to the personnel guys. Every game you're playing against, Jets, Patriots, what have you, write a book down. What does this, you know how a pitcher has a book on a hitter? Hey, Bobby, you in here? It's a masterclass. He would write down Trent McDuffie. He's really good at closing on a route if he gets beat initially on the route. You can manhandle him off the line of scrimmage. If he tries pressing you, maybe what you should do is have AJ in his face. Go to AJ more. AJ's going to be more physical on Trent. He's not a physical player. He's more of a finesse player. I'd never heard that. I never heard coaches telling the quarterback to go to the personnel people being coached by a defensive guy. And I'll tell you what it did. It blew up Colin Cowherd's take that Bill Belichick doesn't know anything about quarterbacking because he developed the greatest quarterback in the history of pro football. Told him what to look for, told him how to put his team in a position to win, lined him up. Brady came away going like this. So Kevin Patullo is Jalen Hurts' coordinator. He's like the 30th ranked coordinator in pro football. How do you think that is? When you have an offense that is the best offense in personnel alone, you put the 30th ranked offensive coordinator, let's just say he evolves into being a good coordinator. So you got a training wheels coordinator coaching your team? Why? Why would you do that? You went out and found two coordinators who knew what they were doing a year ago. And they won you a Super Bowl. And you went out of house. Sills, on one hand, says it's a liar's month, but then turns around and says Patullo sucks after one game. I said his game one offensive game plan sucked. Yeah, it did. No problem saying that. I thought he sucked in game one. And it is, yes. But wait a minute. This guy's like the 30th ranked offensive coordinator in pro football. Why wouldn't it suck? You think that fucking guy knows what he's doing just by what? Because he sits around the coffee table with Nick? Where did you get that from? The greatest player in the history of the sport tells you that's bullshit. But you don't want to believe that. Get this. He's calling Tom Brady a snake oil salesman. And you know why you're 1-0? You're 1-0 because your quarterback is he's a smart player. Damn. Hey, Pump, I am not going to any of these people in here who just want to start an argument and try to counteract what Tom Brady said today. You people are stupid. I'm not going there. No interest. Zero today. I heard a masterclass today on quarterbacking, and you don't have a coordinator in the building right now that's with any knowledge of teaching or coaching Jalen Hurts. You have none of that. He may know some of the parameters on how to coach a kid, but he has no experience doing it. Brady said it today. You're just not going to become the best coordinator because why? You got elevated to it? That's not what that dude said. I understand. Jalen got an uncanny ability to swiftly relay the ball to Saquon, relay the ball to Saquon. The way he flips laces and snaps his wrist upon handoff is elite. Dude, I think you're downplaying him a little bit. Okay, I do. I think he's a smart football player. I mean, he goes like this, rank the coordinators. Rank the coordinators. Your negativity sickens me. Fake news, go Birds. So he said Tom Brady's fake news. Okay. Tom Brady's fake news. Folks, not debating that. Tom Brady's comments sickens him because I'm just relaying them. They sicken him. They should sicken him because he doesn't know what he's talking about. Sills, that sounds like Bill helped TB understand the overall defensive scheme. He said it. And Bill told the personnel guys to track players' tendencies so Brady could get the edge in the one-on-one matchups. Absolutely what was said today. No question about it. That is exactly right. It is a masterclass on how you develop a quarterback. It's a really true comment that Pumper made early. You know what it was? How come Hurts has always whatever team he's been on, his passing game has been a question from Bama to today. Why is that? How much development? I think the only guy that's ever developed him was Steichen. I don't think Kellen developed him. The passing game was horrific a year ago. You couldn't find a guy to save your life. Hurts adjusted in the game and won. Bro, I'm not killing the kid. As a matter of fact, I'm elevating him. And we'll do that. But by the way, this is not a one-game thing with Hurts. This is 5 years now. Jalen is spotty in the passing game, but he's not spotty as a winner. He wins in spite of all this shit. Brady's class today was the best I've ever heard on how you develop a player and how organizations let players down. It was tremendous. By the way, our friend Mike North is going to be with us at 3:30. Xander's going to be with us at 4:30. The legendary Philly Godfather, each and every single Friday, will be with us at 5:30. Okay? No, you guys wish the passing game was used more. I like the quarterback coach. He coached TB12. You're correct. And, hey, that could be also one of the reasons why they brought the former Bowling Green coach in. He was with him up in Michigan when he was there with Lloyd Carr. Okay? This is not year 5. Still, this is not a 5-year thing. It's since Bama. Oh, okay. Listening to what makes it seem like Hurts has been coaching himself. Yeah, a little bit. How many times have you heard Jalen Hurts give ringing endorsements to coordinators since he's been? I've heard the opposite. He's only viewed as an athlete, not a quarterback. I don't view him just as an athlete. I'm becoming more of a fan how he sees the game. He sees the game better than Lamar Jackson does. He absolutely does. Get this. And he won 7. What a stupid take. He lost 3 Super Bowls. He's been to 10. And every year he was in New England. He went to the Super Bowl every other year in 19 years. You talk about dumbness. Seriously. I have to think some of you are 8 years old in here. 5 years of a Hall of Fame resume, loading all pro, second team, 3-time Pro Bowler, yes, 2-time, okay, yes, all done with new coordinators every year since Bama. Okay, correct. And every year questioned. And listen, told you, my top 5. My top 5, no doubt. Brady had a 10-year gap before he went to another Super Bowl. Sure, he won 7. Eagles or Chiefs, pick one. 34-19. Eagles. Many other quarterbacks have had as many OCs as Jalen. Okay. How many? I think you were going to put how many other quarterbacks have had as many OCs and has won as much? I can't think of any. Mahomes has had one dude. Aaron Rodgers had one guy forever. Mike McCarthy. Montana had one dude. Bradshaw had one dude. Aikman had North Turner. I don't know. Brady had a few. He had Bill O'Brien. He had the one dude for a long time up there, Josh McDaniel. He also had Charlie Weiss for a couple years. So there was 3 that they have out there. Yeah, I don't see how Kansas City moves the ball. I just don't see that they have a lot of offensive options in this game. Now, if Mahomes can take care of the clock in this game, which you're going to have to, like, get this. Hey, Yale, Kansas City can't score quick. They can't score quick in this game. They've got to eat the clock. I think they have to make it a fourth quarter game. Hurts has to learn from Tom Brady's experience and advise Hurts never again will come back to a Super Bowl. I actually think there's a lot of similarities in their hard work and how people constantly doubt them. Boy, I'll tell you, I have never learned more about how Tom Brady became Tom Brady than I did today in Colin Cowherd. And he just took a piss on everybody's narrative on Bill Belichick. He just took a shit on everybody. He said Bill Belichick, when that coach died, he came in every day and sat with the quarterbacks and told them this: don't go here. When you're in cover two, make sure your team's here. Here's your landmarks. And he coached these guys up, and he coached Brady up how to put his team in a position of success. When you see this, go here. When you see this, go over here. If they're trying to do this, this is what they're trying to do. You need to go there. It was a masterclass on the greatest winner of all time. Incredible. Jalen doesn't get that coaching. How could he? There's a new dude every year. How are you getting that type of coaching? You're not. Different voices, different mentalities. You could try to keep the offense the same. But Jalen Hurts has not evolved as a passer. Hurts is getting better at seeing the game because he's a good football player. I guess my point would be this. Can you imagine if they actually sat down and decided to develop him with somebody like a Vic Fangio? Let me ask you this. Why don't they hire a Vic Fangio for offense? Hey, Bob, ask yourself this. If you guys think Vic Fangio is so great, why don't they ever hire a Vic Fangio of the offense? Why don't they get the best offensive coordinator they can find? Would they think that's a threat to Nick's job? Yes. And Shane's now the head coach. Dude, hey, Kenzo, think of this for a second. Shane Steichen made Daniel Jones look like John Elway in week 1. I couldn't believe what I was watching. I was like, holy shit. That is a fabulous. No, the problem you get is lateral move. That's why doing what Chris Long said, as long as Nick Sirianni's the head coach, you're never going to have that. You're right, Jessica. It'll be revolving door offensive coordinator forever in Philadelphia. And developing, according to Tom Brady, Jalen, will be slow drips. Right. This is what it is. You're never going to hire a Vic Fangio for Jalen Hurts, which means you're never really going to get him to what his total, people always go, Sills, what do you think the ceiling is for Jalen Hurts? I don't know. We may never see it. This is all based off of what Brady said today. Seals, a Vic-style OC would challenge Nick and possibly Howie. So that's why you don't get him the best coaches you can find, and you get him the 30th offensive coordinator? Okay. Tom goes like this. Rank the coordinators. Where do you think Tom Brady would rank next? Kevin Patullo, 30th? And he would look at that and go, wait a minute here. Hey, get this. Bill Belichick was never threatened by Josh McDaniel or Bill O'Brien or Charlie Weiss or any of them guys. Those guys all went on to become head football coaches in the NFL and college football. Every one of them. He was never threatened by that. Now, maybe because he was a defensive guy. Here, let me tell you this again. I knew everybody would be going, Washington blows this. Well, get this. It is September. If you're going to use the Liars Month, hang in there. I don't know if Green Bay's that good. They sure look it. Absolutely. Do I think Green Bay's going to look like that in December? I don't know. Don't get blown away by September results, good or bad. What I'm talking about here is not an experienced guy. I'm talking about more what Tom Brady said about Kevin Patullo, or guys like Kevin Patullo. Seals, why doesn't the NFL hire successful quarterbacks to develop young quarterbacks with similar skill sets? I'm not saying Brady should work with Hurts, but Hurts really respects Rivers, and Rivers was successful. Philip Rivers is one of the absolutely best technicians you will ever see throw a football and how he processes it. He is way better than Eli Manning. I got a great picture of me and him have talked at length about the quarterbacking and how he saw the game. He sees the game the same way Brady did. He prepared the same way Brady did. He couldn't help it. He wasn't in a good organization. Mike McCoy was not a good coach. Mike McCoy was a decent coach. But man, Philip Rivers and I got great pictures of me sitting down. He's just talking to me about, we'd be sitting in the film room and we would be talking. See if I can bring that up. We would be sitting in the film room and he would go like this to me. Where do you think the pressure's coming from? And I would go, internal. And he would go like this to me. Exactly. What tipped that off? I go, the splits. The splits would do that. And I said, he goes, correct. Sometimes they give you false reads, though. Remember that. I gotta show you this. Him and I just watching film together. He would sit there with me, and we would just sit there, and we would go over game film. It was just incredible how he saw it. I got to find this man. He was so good. And I didn't realize that Nick Sirianni was on that coaching staff at the time. And that's where Nick got a lot of his stuff. Let me get this. Philip Rivers. I was very close to the organization. Here's me talking to one of their wide receivers, Keenan Allen. We were talking how Philip Rivers was able to, put him in a position to, let's see here. He was so good. Damn, I hope I can find that. Just it was a tremendous education on him being able to talk football. He was so good at it. Yeah, I'll have to find that picture. Just sitting down and breaking down film. Still, Smitty mentioned that Dallas coverage made it difficult to get the ball as they had plays underneath and over the top coverage, limited the available space. And that's what made Jalen, go to Dotson and then went to Goddard. That's what I'm saying to you, Prince, that Jalen saw his way through the game. Okay? Arguing? There's nothing to argue. What are you arguing? You're arguing with Tom Brady, what he said? Yes, you're right. You are going to run into a wall with that. Arguing with you on what Brady said on developing a quarterback and giving a quarterback all the essential tools that it takes to develop, and you think you know better? Sorry, dude. You lose that. What the fuck would you know more than Tom Brady? How in the world would you know more? Like, what have you won? A rec league MVP? Give me a break, guy. I mean, honestly. Yeah, guess what? Foles owns Brady? Really? One night he surely did. Congratulations. He could buy a ticket at the next Hall of Fame induction. Nick Foles, Tom Brady. Really? Nice moment. People do have moments in life. Most people like him are legendary. Brady's legendary. Foles is a moment in time. I think I can get him. Yes. I can get Phillip. I know him very well. And by the way, a lot of the tape that Jalen Hurts watches is Phillip Rivers stuff. Okay? Going Canelo. The 13 Chargers coaching staff, Ken Whisenhunt and Reich and Sirianni and John Pagano. Yeah, I was there for it. Tremendous coaching staff. I love John Pagano. John Pagano is a heck of a defensive coach. Ken Whisenhunt, I think he had someone die in his family, and I think he's been out of coaching for a little bit. I think he was in coaching 2 years ago, and he got out of it because there was an illness in his family. Okay? So you're taking the other guy. I like Canelo Alvarez. Crawford's too quick. Okay. When people say they're not a fan of Kevin Patullo, not a fan. How could I be a fan? I don't know who he is. I laugh and say Kevin Patullo is not the real coordinator. It's Jalen Hurts. He knows the plays from all his ex-coordinators. That's not how play calling calls, dog. Now, I think what I saw in that Dallas game for the first time was Hurts checking out of plays and checking into plays that got him out of trouble. There was a lot of audibling in that game against the Cowboys. And I thought he did a nice job in that. I did. I thought he did a really good job at audibling out of plays and putting them into better plays. I did. Whatever. Phillip Rivers, great dude. His trash talk is legendary. Hey, my friend. You're going to have to come better with something like that. I mean, dude, I've never seen a guy trash talk more, not swear. I've never seen anything like it. And you would swear that he's MFing you up and down. I'm on the sidelines of a Chargers game. Okay? I'm on the sidelines of a Chargers game, and I swear to you, he's talking to I think Rodney Harrison had gone to the Patriots. And I'm on the sidelines, and we're watching the game, and I heard him try, and I'm going like, did you swear at him? He goes, nope, I don't swear. I'm like, I could have swore he dropped 5 F-bombs. It's like when my wife gets into it, like she'll be at a rugby game. I could tell you, I swear my wife throws 18 F-bombs, and she never throws 1 F-bomb at anybody. But I could have swore you said, I'd never swore, because, you know, she gets in trouble for that. You can't do. I go like this to my wife. I go, did you swear? I could have swore you had like 10 F-bombs. Nope, I didn't say it once. And I'm like, damn, that's an art. Because I'm not that smart. I can't do that. I saw my wife go after a lady once. And I'm going like, did you see her go after her, cuss her out? The lady goes, your wife never said a bad cuss word. I'm like, really? Whew, she'd hear her at home when she's going after me. The favorite line in my house is, you dumb son of a bitch. You dumb son of a bitch. That's my new name. It's okay. When you're married for 40 years, Son of a bitch becomes part of the acronym for my name. That's part of Dan Sileo. Dan, son of a bitch, Sileo. Who's the biggest son of a bitch you know? You. Well, and of course, I set myself up too. I go, hey, well, guess what? My wife goes like this. She goes, hey, man. Okay. Hey, Xander goes, I can understand Kim on that one. Hey, hang on here. So here's my wife, though. My wife will go, gee, I can't really see well. I go, well, I guess you're never going to be a fighter pilot. My wife will turn around and go, well, you'll never fit in the cockpit, so don't worry. Hey, dumb. Very quick on her feet. And by the way, we had something happen here today. And so if you heard pots and pans earlier, that's code for shut the fuck up. You're screaming. I think that it only resonated with me right now. So I think that's why where we're at right now. So yeah. All right. Here's something here. I think right here, Cosmo, I think you and my wife would get along very well. Sills is the biggest asshole we all love. Yeah, it's probably true. My wife would call me the biggest asshole she knows, and she loves me. Yeah. How you doing? And that's my favorite Rivers moment. She cracks me up to this day. Dude, I've never seen a guy talk more shit in my life that never swears. He is so good, though, man. I got to find this Rivers picture, man. Rivers and Big Sills. Dude, he would come on my show when I was on here in San Diego. And he would just talk. And then when I went down to the complex, I went down with the radio station. We aired their games, right? And so we would air them, and we would sit down, and he would come on my radio show every morning, like after a football game. And he was so good, man. I think he's a Hall of Fame player. I do. I think he's a Hall of Fame football player. Damn, I can't believe I can't get this up here. Thank you. Merry Christmas. God, he was so good. Yeah, just great. Bro, you know what? Absolutely. Okay? I'm on to football now. I am. We're not taking that off ramp. We got good things happening. I got football tonight, I got football Saturday, and I got football on Sunday. Albeit, I got you. Not me, though. I'm not hiding under my desk. I'm living my life as he'd want you to. Enjoy your football, dude. Enjoy your life. Sit in misery. If you want to be in misery, watch the news. If you want to have some happiness, watch some football. Right? Sills, when my bride tells me I'm stupid, which is often, I tell her, this is what I do tell my wife too, by the way. I might be stupid, you said. Yes, I ask you to marry me. So your judgment is suspect. It's very true. When my wife calls me stupid and says, you dumb son of a bitch, I can always turn around and I do. Well, you married me. So what's your judgment? Okay? How's your judgment? You're the stupidest guy I know. Well, no. No. You're the stupidest person I know because you married that dumb person. How you doing? She doesn't have to, it's the only one she doesn't have a comeback for. Or she'll say that she was intoxicated. Prince, I'm with you. I'm not listening and watching it anymore. I don't care. I really don't. For my own mental health, I'm not doing that. I got Deion Sanders versus Houston Cougars tonight. And then on Saturday, I got Hurricanes and USF. And then I got Eagles and Chiefs on Sunday. That's what I'm watching. Mike North is going to join us in a couple minutes. And we will talk to the legendary Chicago broadcaster, one of the truly greatest guys on the planet. I hope we're able to catch up with him too. So Mike North will join us here at the bottom of the hour here. Do me a favor, please. You have to watch this Brady thing. It really puts Jalen Hurts into perspective on how much winning the guy is. See, I think some of you guys took this as shots at Jalen. It's not. He's winning in spite of all that, which is insane. Think about something here. Why do you think Jalen Hurts didn't get overly developed at Alabama? Why do you guys think they didn't develop Jalen Hurts at Alabama? Because they didn't. He relied on his athleticism. Let's go by what Tom Brady said. Because they didn't have the right coordinator for him, and they had the right coordinator for Tua. Right? Was Lincoln Riley the best coordinator for Jalen Hurts at Oklahoma? To me, it was an upgrade from Alabama because he excelled more. Right? So we got some pretty good coaching in my opinion. I think Jalen Hurts got better coaching at Oklahoma, but he had better talent at Alabama. Nick's not going to sit around and wait for Hurts to develop. Do you know what they did? They did everything that, now I know why Bill Belichick failed. Not Belichick, Saban failed in college. You know why he failed in college? He thought one coordinator fits one quarterback. Brady said today, that's not how it works. Did you get the right guy for him? Did you develop him correctly? Does he understand personnel? Does he understand defenses? Have you sat him down and talked to him about the opponents you're playing and what their strengths and weaknesses are? Have you done all that? I'm going to tell you one more time. That thing was a masterclass. He said something about Caleb Williams today, and I'm going to get Mike North here on in a second. Mike North has been pretty critical of the Bears front office, right? In that first game against Minnesota, they had a lead. You know what Brady said? So Colin Cowherd went like this, and I'm setting this up for Mike, guys. So you guys have heard this, but so let me get this right. Colin Cowherd goes year one, and then next year getting into around Thanksgiving, if you're Ryan Poles and you're Ben Johnson, you've got to come to the conclusion whether or not you think that that quarterback is a good enough player. You know what Brady said? Well, what are they teaching him? And Brady turned around and went, well, let me rank your offensive coordinators. Have you ever ranked offensive coordinators? You could look at the Eagles. The Eagles now have a first-time play caller who's never been an offensive coordinator. He's probably the 30th offensive coordinator in the league, coaching the MVP. What does he possibly know? You know what he said about Belichick? Belichick's second year, he took over the quarterback because they had a death with their quarterback coach. He goes, Bill showed me everywhere in cover two, not where to go, not where to put my team in. He taught me everything about how to put my team in a position to win. Then he told me to go to my personnel guy like a Ryan Poles and go, what does this guy do in the secondary? What's his strengths and weaknesses? How should I attack him? That was the lesson Brady had, and it resulted in 6 Super Bowls in New England. How do you know Ben Johnson's the right guy? How do you know? Name me a quarterback since Sid Luckman in Chicago that was first-team All-Pro. They haven't had one guy for 80 years in Chicago. They don't develop quarterbacks. They develop linebackers. That's a middle linebacker's place. All right. Let's get to one of my favorite people, man. We are going to talk some football with him and go around the league. And we're going to start there in Chicago there. And again, we'll talk to him about, obviously, the Philadelphia Eagles. That pack, there's no way a Chicago guy is going to give any kind of kudos to a Packer guy. And I'm not a Packer guy, okay? But there's no way Mike North is going to give love to a Green Bay Packer team. There's just that. It's in their DNA. We can't like the Packers. Let's bring him up now. The legendary Mike North, who's backed by popular demand. No way you give Green Bay Packer guys any kind of love, do you? After what you saw last night, Mike?
I got a new toupee, so I just got to make sure it's adjusted. You know what I'm saying? I thought it was coming out an hour later. So then
okay, Mike. Hey, listen. When it comes to adding and it comes to time zones, sorry, Mike, that's me.
Hey, I'm right here, baby. I look like a mad scientist, but I'm here to tell you.
Yeah.
Well, first, I've been on this for a long time. The last time the Bears had a quarterback, and I'm like De Niro in the phone booth. Remember in Goodfellas when he finds out Tommy's been killed? He goes, hey, well, he's gone. He's gone. Like, who's gone? Mitch Trubisky. I'm the last guy left. I'm pounding on the phone thing. Why'd you get rid of him? 29-21, 64 touchdowns, 37 interceptions. Made the Pro Bowl a couple times, made the playoffs twice. All of a sudden, the Bears decided they wanted to go in another direction. Nagy got soured on Trubisky. We bring in Justin Field and Caleb Williams. And the last 4 years, going on 5 now, have been a nightmare. 16 and 47 between the two guys. And I'm still mystified. I never get a correct answer. You brought up no good quarterbacks. You're right. We had Harbaugh for a couple of years that did pretty well. Jimmy McMahon, who was a superstar, but got hurt. But Trubisky was on his way for a descent. And somebody said to me the other day, well, look, he's a clipboard holder for Josh Allen. I go, so would 26 other starting quarterbacks in the league be clipboard holders for Josh Allen, including Lamar Jackson, maybe. So I don't want to hear that. So they did their own. They cut their own throats when it comes to that, Danny. And Ryan Poles got an extension after going 15 and 37. He is now after losing again. Got an extension. He gave away David Montgomery. Okay, let him walk. And where does he walk to? The Detroit Lions. We get the other guy that Montgomery took the place of, Swift. Average at best running back. Montgomery averaged 4.1 to carry. So he has made so many mistakes. And I think the last time it might have been on your show. The Bears got rid of Jerry Vanisi, and he was 47 games above 500 as a GM. And they re-signed this guy, who was 15 and 37 to 4 more years. That tells you all you need to know about the front office.
Do you think you're going to get a payoff of all the free agency moves that they've made here? And, I mean, I watched that game. I think you had a 17-6 lead in that ball game.
Oh, yeah.
On Monday night, and you blow that lead, and I don't know what kind of play calling or 2-minute drill. I mean, that looked like Andy Reid Philadelphia when it came to 2-minute drill. But
you know what it looked like, Dan? It looked like last year. Everybody got on Eberflus, okay? Ben Johnson, 6th highest paid coach in the league. Wow. Never been a head coach. He makes more than the Philadelphia Eagle coach, who makes $7 million a year. He makes more than John Harbaugh. He makes more than 26 other coaches in the NFL, and he never was a head coach for a game. And he's coaching some guys that were on the team last year that were quitters. So you still got a poison in there. You know how it is if you get a poison in a locker room. And Ben Johnson, to me, I don't know how you felt. I come from the school of Ditka, the school of Knight, the school of Lou Holtz. Personalities on the sideline. Ben Johnson looked like the offensive coordinator. Yeah. And Dennis Allen looked like the defensive coordinator. I didn't see a head coach presence. I looked at a guy that looked exactly what he was at Detroit, only with he had better players. Simple. And They picked up Moody, the kicker, who's been a 3-year bust for the 49ers. And for what? They're going to blame the kicker? Ben Johnson passed on the field goal in the first quarter from like 30 yards. So everybody had a bad game. He showed his inexperience, and Caleb Williams looks gun-shy to me, period.
How about this? I called September the Liars Month. You really don't know in the NFL what you get because, again, we saw a year ago, and I keep using this example, the Eagles were 2-2. They're not going anywhere. People wanted the head coach fired. And we saw the Saints get out scoring 40 points a game.
Absolutely.
Are you buying the Packers after watching them last night?
Well, I'll buy it more than I was before the season started, but you're right. You're only doing a couple games here. I mean, everybody's got the Chiefs dead and buried. Okay, well, go. If you know they're dead and buried, bet against them this week. If you know that Patrick Mahomes can't, if they have a receiver out, I mean, Patrick Mahomes, the receivers don't make Patrick Mahomes. It's the other way around. Catch the football. I don't care if it's Juju Schuster or whoever it is, if the other kid can't play, and I heard he's playing anyway.
Yeah.
Patrick Mahomes figures it out. He's getting 1.5 at home. Are you kidding me? Okay? He'll figure it out. I love Philadelphia. Everybody knows it. I love Jalen Hurts. But you're going into a situation where at home, he's pretty tough to beat. So I'm leaning, although I don't have a dog in the fight, I'm leaning Kansas City right now.
Is it desperation too that so you know what? You're right. Per man, people are like this. Casey's done. They're done.
That's right.
They're going the other way.
Yeah.
You still have a generational talent in that quarterback.
That's
you
it.
still have Chris Jones on the other side of the ball who's going to Canton, who's still playing phenomenal football.
And you're playing at one of the most hostile environments in all of pro football.
And this is only the second time in his career that he's been a home dog. Do you think that number holds up going into this weekend, or do you think that straightens out?
Well, here's one that's even more impressive. He's 19-4 after a loss.
19-4 after a loss.
After a loss. What I bring to the table. That's why I jump off the couch. That's why I run down to the basement. Are you kidding me to see my guy? My guy. Are you kidding?
All right, I got another one for you.
All right. I love what you do.
The guy in, thank you so much. That's such an honor. Thank you so much, Mike. How about this? Mike, do you take the 17 off the chest and put an S on the guy in Buffalo? Do you just do that? Or do you think again, how do you see? He just gave me a compliment. I don't know if he's a Josh Allen guy or not. Are you a Josh Allen guy?
I think he's terrific. I'll tell you what happened to me. I was 0-3 on my ESPN show, and I didn't want to, and I had Buffalo. I go to bed. I said, forget about it. You know, I'm watching Dick Van Dyke on MeTV. You know what I'm saying? Trying to relive my days of yesteryear when I actually, I'm beating up myself. It looks like Buffalo's going to lose. I'm going to start 0-4. And then I go to sleep, and then I wake up. And I mean, you could have done a lottery commercial for me when I found out that Buffalo won. And we've all been there where I've been to bed where I was winning by 20 and I got up, and you're like this. Yeah, you find out you lost the game. So the ecstatic feeling that I got from winning that game, it told me about the quarterback. And I'm not going to blame Lamar Jackson because I knew 4 years ago, I bring up to my buddy Carmen DeFalco. I go, Carmen, John Harbaugh is overrated. He is.
Boy, man, you're not the only one that says that.
And I said this 4 years ago. So all of a sudden I see in the papers. On line or whatever.
Yeah.
And I see Harbaugh, double-digit leads with double losses when leading by double digit in the fourth quarter. I knew that 4 years ago. This guy's won more games for me when I bet the Ravens, for God's sake. And I brought it up 4 years ago. And now the chickens have come home to roost. He's not a very good in-game coach. He's got the Super Bowl. I get it. And I like his family. He's not the best coach in the family. That's for damn.
No, that's Jim Harbaugh.
That's exactly right. But I give him credit. Seems like a nice guy. But if Lamar Jackson can't win with something, okay, They give Sean McDermott a hard time if he doesn't win with Josh Allen. I'm sorry, John Harbaugh. Time for him to go, or is that Super Bowl going to carry him? And because of his name, for another 5 years. Period.
I got to tell you, going to bed, I got to tell you a quick story. So, the Flutie play, right? Where Flutie Cat throws the ball in the back of the
I loved it. I was in a bar on 47th Street on the south side.
Of course you would, you Irish guy. So of
Oh,
course you would. Hey, so
I was working for a delivery place.
Hey, Mike. So get this, Mike.
Yeah.
I walk into the locker room, and I sitting down, and I go, "Wow, what a tough game, right?" And you know what the guys go? No, Phelan caught it. I went,
yes, what? I saw it with my own eyes.
I went like this. What? I didn't know he caught it.
It was awesome.
We all ran in. We didn't know he caught it.
Well, I'm watching the game in the bar, and I got the truck pulled on the side street, and I go into the place. There's some gruesome characters, but the game's on with the little. We didn't have the flat TV and all. You had the little TV on the shelf. You're straining your eyes. So yeah, the catch was behind the defender.
Yeah.
It's like if the defender would have turned at the right time.
Yeah.
And man, it was Brett Musburger. I'll never forget it.
Yeah. CBS game.
Yeah, I mean, just unbelievable, man.
Flutie won the Heisman Trophy off that.
Oh my God. Flutie got the commercials because of that.
Absolutely.
Flutie got everything.
All that.
Well, you know what? I loved him, though. I did.
Hey,
I loved him because he's a regular guy.
I like him, too.
And,
Great guy.
The Bears were stupid. They had to be they could have won if they would have not have had half the team under the tutelage. And I love Jimmy McMahon and the guys, but they wanted Tom Zach to be the quarterback. And Doug Flutie, when they drafted the quarterback Johnson, I think, for Buffalo.
Ron Johnson. Brad Johnson. What's that guy's name? Was Johnson. You're right. I think he was a Gator.
Yeah. Yes. They drafted this kid. Or J.J. Lozman or whatever the hell his name was.
He also.
And Flutie's on the team.
Yeah.
And I'm going, wait a minute. There's no comparison.
Yeah, that was in Buffalo. They do with the Lozman.
Look, quarterbacks get screwed around if they're not in the right spot with the right person that doesn't believe in them, I mean, period.
Is it in your opinion, do you think it's still Philadelphia? Or do you think after watching Green Bay last night, or again, to go back to my comment, September's a liar's month. We really don't know because I thought Dallas played pretty well against them. Now it's a divisional game, as you know. No question about it. At the end of the day, I mean,
well, I'm looking for the Giants to give Dallas a game. I'm looking at the Giants are getting 6 points. Everybody's got them dying. They're dead. Their quarterback's finished. The coach is on, the Green Mile. So we're talking about overreaction, okay? And that's fine. My team right now, if you want to look and get impressed by somebody, out of all the games I watched, the Indianapolis Colts impressed me the most. I mean, did Miami, there's two ways of looking at it. Is Miami that bad? Or did Jonathan Taylor and Danny Dimes, and by the way, Chicago Bear fans, we should have taken Tyler Warren, but Poles took the other kid, which was stupid, but Tyler Warren. Shane Steichen's a great coach, in my opinion, sort of like that guy in Minnesota. So I'm looking for Indianapolis as a surprise team and to keep things going this week against Denver. But the New York Giants, look out for them in this game. It's an ambush game. Dallas, they still lost. And Philly, the pressure of being the champs, I used to see the Bulls in ring ceremony games. In the ring ceremony game, either lose or play a close game. So I love Jalen Hurts. I'll answer your question. I'm staying by the Eagles. But tomorrow, Sunday, they may have a tough road. That's just my opinion.
How about this? Are you buying the Steelers? They got a tough Seattle team coming in. Aaron Rodgers looked absolutely sensational against the Jets. Now, again, it's the Jets, but Justin Fields looked pretty decent. I thought also on that side, I think the Jets are going to win some ball games. But do you think, again, are you buying Rodgers? You've seen him for so many years. just go in there and torture Bear fans. I mean, do you think do you think he's got a little bit of it back here?
Look, I never had any malice to the guy. He's got malice against himself. I mean, he got 4 MVPs. He has 1 Super Bowl. That's it. But I heard Tom Brady say, and I don't argue with Sir Tom. Tom's very outspoken lately. It's almost like Moses is talking about the game of quarterback. Tom's got the tablets about who's going to be this, who's comfortable. I mean, I heard Tom. Look, how long are the Chicago Bears, for instance? Tom's making excuses now for Caleb Williams. Hey, Tom, I understand, but at some point, Jim McMahon made it there.
He did.
So did Jimmy Harbaugh. Mitch Trubisky. The Bear organization. You got to look at that. I understand, but I mean, Mike Ditka won there. Rex Grossman went to the Super Bowl with the Chicago Bears. We didn't even need. We're running back, and I heard you say it, a linebacker thing. That's what we are. But look, they want the Bear quarterback to throw for 4,000 yards. Josh Allen didn't throw for 4,000 yards last year.
Bears have never had a 4,000
But so what? Josh Allen didn't do it last year. Jalen Hurts, he didn't do it.
No.
I don't care. McMahon didn't do it. These guys are accomplished, So that's not big to me. But the Bears, the 85 Bears, were a built team from within, from the organization with savvy draft picks. Guys like McMahon, Peyton, Covert, Bortz, Becker, Hilgenberg, McKinnon. I mean, late draft picks, early draft picks. Very few people like the Bears have now from other teams. Because you know what they say about players from other teams.
Yeah. Right.
So that Bear team, Mike Singletary, all Wilson. These guys were Wilbur Marshall. They were all Bears. They were brought through like that. They are the last great rebuild in NFL history that people don't talk about. That they were built from within. The Bears didn't go out and grab people.
Who was the guy before Ditka? Was it a guy named Armstrong or something like that?
Neil Armstrong.
That's right. It was Armstrong. Didn't he bring a lot of that talent into Chicago?
It was Jim Finks. And Jerry Vanisi. Those were your brain trusts there. But, I mean, we had accomplished coaches that came through there. Ted Marchibroda, Neil Armstrong, he looked like an astronaut, for God's sake. Everything changed when Ditka came. The culture. That's another big thing the Bears don't have. And maybe Ben Johnson will change it to the culture. So we'll see.
Are you buying him, Ben Johnson?
Well, I'll tell you what. He made some huge mistakes in that game.
He sure did, man.
And he got out-coached so badly by O'Connell, who's one of the top 5 coaches. But a lot of the mistakes were Ben's. Not kicking the ball out of bounds. Passing up the field goal like you have Jared Goff at quarterback. Really not having the team in tune. And then the defense broke down. And the kid from Nazareth High School, I coached in that conference basketball.
J.J. McCarthy.
Yeah, I mean, J.J. McCarthy, is a Chicago Bear fan. So naturally they go and they grab somebody without interviewing the other 4 quarterbacks. That's brazen. That's wrong. That's general manager malpractice, my friend, to just say Caleb Williams is far and away better than anybody. And I will tell you, I would trade Caleb Williams right now for any of the 4, and I wouldn't be disappointed.
Let me say this. I got to tell you a story.
How am I putting on the show today, huh?
I love you're phenomenal, man, as always. Let me go here with you. So
go ahead. I'm ready.
I went up to Chicago, and I was at Soldier Field, and I got myself a hot dog. Guy goes like this.
Congratulations.
But wait a minute. I got a ton of somebody gave me a ton of shit. I was going to put ketchup on it. And the guy looks over at me and he goes like this. Where are you from? I said, well, I'm from Connecticut. He goes like this. It figures. Nobody with any kind of brains here in Chicago puts ketchup on a hot dog. It is mustard on a hot dog. We put onions on a hot dog. And I say this, and by the way, I ate this bad puppy at Soldier Field, and I played there. And when I heard the news this week that you guys are moving out of there and you're moving out and you're going to the suburbs, sorry to say, I'm sorry, man. That's a disappointment to hear that the Bears are moving out of downtown and they're going out now. Now you guys are going to be suburban. You got to got
Well,
out there in the
first of all,
suburbs now.
We do have always had a pride about having all our stadiums in the city limits. That is very rarely seen, but most of them now are in the suburbs. It's at least we're in the same state, unlike the Giants and the Jets. You know, I mean, New England. I mean, somebody tells me to go to Foxborough. Somebody said you got to take a 4-seat propeller job to get in there. You know, I mean, so I don't want to hear that crap.
Foxborough is not Boston. I can tell you that.
Exactly, but at least they say New England. I get all that. But seriously, I'll see it if it happens. I'll believe it.
You don't believe it.
I don't believe it. It's not going to happen. Look, they're just getting around. I see groundbreaking. I'll be in my 80s. I just had a birthday the other day, and I'm like the same age as Pete Carroll. So for anybody that wants to know, that's my age. But I'll be at the groundbreaking. I'll be like this. You know, I'll be 100. You know, we're going to get a new stadium. I've been hearing that since I was a kid. You know, somebody said the Soldiers Field is, if you've ever been to the Roman Coliseum, there's not that much of a big difference, to be honest with you. The architectural design even looks the same. I could have seen lions running around chasing guys that had the cross or whatever. You know?
Do you like Soldier Field?
Oh, I can't stand it.
Really? You can't stand it.
It's the hardest stadium to get to in the NFL. It's old, even though they put it like a spaceship in the middle. They decided to keep the facade. Yep. Why would you do that?
The pillar.
You know? I mean, seriously, you know, it's like having a flat screen TV with the old school cabinet. You know, you know what I mean, around it with the knobs. Why would you do that? I mean, I don't understand. So, and it's also hard to get to, and they've known that for years. And it's a bad stadium deal. We were never going to be able to host the Super Bowl. Look, Jack Dempsey fought there. That's how old that place is, okay? So I'm glad for the sentimentality. You know, I watched Scarface the other night, Dan, and I saw the scene where they were all under the Orange Bowl by the expressway. I'm going, I think that's why one of the reasons they had to move. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. Where's Hard Rock Casino now, or football field? I have no idea.
It's in Winter Garden.
What the hell is that? Sounds like a amusement park.
It's not quite down in Little Havana. I can promise you this.
What the hell? First of all, if they have snow there, they have an emergency if there's a half an inch.
Oh,
so
my
the
God.
fact it's called Winter Garden is hilarious.
Absolutely. What about Wrigley Field? Are you a fan of Wrigley Field?
Oh, I worked there when I was a kid. You could have bought the buildings around there with the change in your pocket back in the day. Now it's just beautiful. And everything you see on TV, folks, I was there with Banks and Clemente and Aaron and all those guys, and it was simple. There was no big screens. It was a park right in the middle of the neighborhood. Well, it's the same thing with all the amenities now, and it's what you see on TV. If you've never been there, and I was a vendor there, I spent a lot of my childhood there. What you see, I experienced for my whole life. It's magic. It is.
Did you ever see the Bears? Did you ever see the Bears play there?
Oh, absolutely. Butkus, Buffon, Sayers. I mean, I was a fan from like, we started sneaking into the games. I was like 12, 13. So I was a 13, 14-year-old when Sayers was a rookie. Greatest runner I ever saw. Unbelievable. Conditions just horrible. And the guy, nobody could keep up with him. Then Buffon and Butkus and Bobby Douglas and the Jim Dooley teams.
Bob Avellini. I followed that team.
I knew Bobby. I intercepted Bobby in a Park League game later on in our lives.
Matt Suey. I knew all them dudes.
They were the best. But the Bears moved there out of Wrigley in 72. But believe me when I tell you, folks, and I didn't go to like Philadelphia, Franklin Field. I heard that was a pit. Most of the fields were pits. But Wrigley Field was the most awesome. You could hear the players talking. You were right there, right on the benches almost. So it was beautiful.
I've been to Wrigley. It's like
It's the best.
it is. It's an experience. Like when
I like stadiums, new ones.
Me too.
I went to Camden Yards. I loved it. I've been to a lot of stadiums. I haven't been to Pittsburgh's, but see, when you're watching on TV and you've never been somewhere, you want to go there. So I've been to Yankee Stadium, but I haven't been to Pirates Stadium.
PNC, a new PNC park.
Yeah, that's what I'd like to go to. But if I always say to myself and my wife and I, if I had never been to Wrigley Field, that would be a destination ballpark for me because there's so much history there too. And the buildings are still there from when Ruth hit homers. So when Ruth was there, the buildings around it are still the same. Period.
All right. I got a final question for you here. Do the Bears?
I'm just getting started. What's going on?
Oh, no.
Did I get fired?
No, we're good.
Oh.
Well, we're good here. Now, wait a minute here.
All right, thanks. Wow.
Are the Bears a playoff team?
Hell no. I mean, you know what everybody's saying around here because they don't have the stones. Because I call the Bear media the Bear parrots because they parrot everything. The Bears tell them to parrot. Okay, and what everybody's afraid to say, it was either 9-8 or 8-9. So nobody would say they're going to go 7-10, or nobody would really say, in fairness, they'd go 10-7. See, so everybody was banking on being a playoff team, but I think the new system, the inaccuracy of Caleb Williams, but as you know, Dan, it's the NFL. Things could change. And if they win against Detroit, maybe get an early turnover, maybe Caleb Williams wakes up because he left a lot of points on the field. He should have hit that tight end, Cole Kmet. He had him wide open, and the ball was like 5 yards away from him. He should have had another 30 yards on that play. And when you hear Troy Aikman going, because Troy Aikman now can't talk without laughing a little bit, he goes, I'll tell you what, you're going to regret them people downhill. He sounds like a southern sheriff now.
I know he's from Oklahoma, and now all of a sudden, right? He's from Texas. I got it.
I'll tell you what, you're going to miss that guy down the field there now. He's halfway down the field. So he was saying they're missing guys down the field. Caleb Williams was. So he wants to run right away. He wants to pretend he said USC with 5 seconds to pass. You got 2 seconds. That's it. 1,000, 2,000. Here comes the guys.
Mike, have you made your Super Bowl? Do you have picks right now?
I took the Eagles. That's it. What do you want me to do over here?
You got the Eagles in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Against
I love them. I think that kid's a great quarterback. I think they got a complete team, a great system. You got an owner that doesn't meddle. They used to accuse him of that. I never really saw proof of that. Maybe he had bad hires, but you're closer to that than me. I think he's pretty good. I think
here, Mike.
The executive is great.
How about this, Mike? Check this out. Since he's owned the team and since 2000,
they're winners.
They have not had a coach, even Chip Kelly, with a losing record. They have this guy Howie Roseman, who I really didn't think was a very good talent evaluator, but
that's what we do. We admit if we're wrong or right. That's it.
Hey, get this. After Jalen Reagor, Mike, he's really hit on a lot of his draft picks, and they've built up a really nice roster. They lost a lot of players. They didn't bring a lot of guys into replacement. See, I think this with the Eagles. I think they've backed up more than teams have caught them. But I don't think teams have overtaken them.
Well, no, because
right now
the Eagles wouldn't have lost both coordinators like Detroit did. I don't believe that. Okay, now maybe they have walked in the past. I know Buddy Ryan walked, but at least he had the stones to finish the job and win the Super Bowl with Ditka. This guy here, Ben Johnson, left because he was offered so much money, $13 million. They outbid themselves. Nobody was going after him for $13 million. Maybe they were. You could have him, but it didn't matter. So now you have a situation where, You don't know who's going to win. You never know who's going to win. But the Bears get rid of people while the Eagles try to act. Look at the Lions. They lose the offensive defensive coordinator. They lose 2 interior linemen offensive. You know how important that is.
Yeah.
So now they look like a different team. Well, yeah, because the other players go too. Jesus, we were right on the cusp. See, I'll say this about the Bears. They kept their players around to win in 85. The 49ers kept their players around to win in the early 80s. The Cowboys in the 60s, late 60s. These teams kept their players. Detroit started losing everybody, and they hadn't accomplished anything yet in their career.
Mike, let me throw this at you here and ask you about why the Bears since Lovey, or even maybe since the coach he was 10-6 and you fired him.
Right.
I can't remember the guy's name, but you fired him. You had a guy in there.
Yeah, Lovey Smith.
That's it. What? Yeah, Lovey. That's right. Lovey was 10-6, right?
Yeah,
you fired
him. Last year they fired him. They said you're doing too good a job.
Right.
And we're going to have to get rid of you, just like we get rid of everybody else that does a good job.
Right. What is?
But I'm alone in a forest here. I've always been. That's why I've been there. I'm the lone voice. I told you earlier about Trubisky. I'm the guy in the phone booth. Look, I have to battle the mainstream media, the machine. I have to battle the talking the Bear Parrot Brigade. I have to out-talk all the TV and radio people. It's always been me. And that's why I'm successful, because maybe I was the only voice. And it used to be it worked out perfectly, and it still does, because I'm still here as a fan first. I was never going to be a talk show host or anything like that, but I was always going to be a Bear fan. I see this. I would have won a couple Super Bowls as a GM. What makes Ryan Poles smarter than me? Nothing. There is nothing that makes him smarter than me. Believe me when I tell you, look, he got rid of Justin Field. Now everybody's looking, but look at Justin Field. You know,
he looked good game one. I mean, it's one game, but
but that's what I'm saying. He got rid of, at least got rid of Roquan Smith. Guy's a stud with the Baltimore Ravens.
He is a stud.
So, I mean, you get rid of stud players, you're going to lose. That's it.
Who do you got in the AFC side facing the Eagles in the Super Bowl?
Boy, I'll tell you, that's a toughie. But I saw nothing. Look.
You think it's Chiefs again?
I wouldn't bet against Patrick Mahomes. I respect the hell out of him. It could be. I think it could be Chargers. Could be the Chargers.
Mike, I picked that team to win the AFC West, and when I saw them in week 1,
they look good.
They were the better team on the field. Now, again, September's a liar's month.
Well, it's a liar's month. Here's another thing. I think they were better off, and I hate the game. The game is overseas. I hate it. We're Americans. We love our game. Now you got to go to 93 different apps. And you got to go to get your game. Or you got to travel to Brazil. Okay. So all I'm going to tell you is I think the Chargers were better off, Dan, playing there than even playing at home in LA or playing at Kansas City. I think there would have been more pressure on them. Here, neutral field, thousands of miles away, Kansas City, a little bit older, probably players look, if somebody told me you got to go across the street right now, I get aggravated. I can't imagine being told you got to go to Brazil to play a football game. After you waited your whole life to play in the league and you're a rookie and your first game's in Brazil. I just can't imagine it, because they've gotten too much in love with trying to force. We're forcing ourselves on people. But I think the Chargers got helped by starting in a neutral field.
I do too. If you had to pick one MVP in the league this year, who you picking to win the Most Valuable Player award this year? Will you think it's going to be Lamar? Could it be Herbert? Could it be Josh Allen again? Do you think it's Burrow or Hurts leading his team? Let me tell you this: like, you like him. If he takes his team to another Super Bowl, I mean, that'll be 3 and 4 years.
But he doesn't throw touchdown passes. He got only 18. So shut up. You don't know what you're talking about, mister. You know that. The guy goes 18-5, He's been to the Super Bowl twice, and I got to listen to people I know that are Bear fans complain about Jalen Hurts. I take him tomorrow. Yeah, but he doesn't throw for yardage. You know, I mean, shut the. You know what? Come on.
All right. Hey, Mike, you
Mike,
are on fire, man. I got to
God.
get. Yes, you are. Listen,
I can't take it. I can't take it.
By the way, the toupee held up great today. I got to tell you, man.
I look like a mad scientist. I wonder if Elvis went like this before he took the crap.
Oh, my God. I think you looked.
Thank you very much.
Mike, do you do a show? Do you do like a
I do on the bar room. I do a show. Somebody big just died. We're going to have one on Saturday morning at 9 o'clock with Chris, you know, and Charlie Kirk. And I'll tell you what, he was a local kid, Arlington Heights kid, Prospect Heights, went to school in our Illinois area. So smart kid, was like me in a way, couldn't stand school. Only he went at least finished high school. I didn't, because I just thought it was, which to me it was a waste of time.
Brady's a Chicago guy.
Yeah, so he's a Chicago guy, so we're gonna have that show, and then I do on ESPN 1000 on Saturdays. I have a show 1 o'clock, wagering, and that's it. I mean, you know, I just chill, and I come on shows like this because I think people need the right information, and I'm a damn educator. I always wanted to say that.
I know you just did. You did.
You know, your producer's a heck of a good producer too. He's a good producer.
No, Xander is absolutely sensational.
Yeah. Xander,
my friend, we will do this again.
All right, pal.
I love you very much, Mike. I check you out all the time.
All right, pal.
Thank you so much, my friend.
All right. Take care of yourselves, everybody.
You got it. That is the great Mike North, and we appreciate him. We always love talking to Mike. Mike's got great energy. All right. Xander's going to join us at the bottom of the hour. I love the guy, man. I don't know. There's something about him. Guy's entertaining. And by the way, I think he brings some fun to the show, too. So I saw something that was very disappointing. Dallas paper mache. Is he out? Jesus Christ. Holy cow. Mr. Unavailable. That's the new name. Mr. Unavailable. Holy cow. No wonder they made him take a pay cut. Okay? No, is Mr. Unavailable out? Is Dallas Goedert out? Yes or no? Jesus criminy. Holy cow. This guy, man, every single year. You know what, too? And I heard Xander this morning talking to John. And John trying to make excuses for a guy who's always missing time. Dog, you are injury prone. No other way to dab or put a tag on your career. You're injury prone. You miss games all the time. And John's take is, well, he plays hard. I don't give a shit. So did many guys in this league play tough. Hey, Yale, who's the guy that played for the Colts? That Bob Sanders. Bob Sanders played tough, and he was always hurt. And I said the same thing about Bob Sanders. Bob Sanders was a great safety who played for Tony Dungy. He was never healthy. Actually, so remember we saw the Cowgirls going low on God. Good take. Good take. Now, is it a knee? A pump. Appreciate it. Was it a knee? Because I thought, hey, I saw a couple low hits also in that game last Thursday. I did. Okay, there were some hits in that game. Dallas Goedert is Deshaun Jackson 2.0. Never available. Carter will be baited on Sunday. My God, yes. Someone's going to spit a loogie right near his shoe and we'll find out if Nick's culture works and if that little powwow talk and fire Sarge hot had any kind of bearing on the kid. How about this? What's the over-under? Jalen Carter gets an unsportsmanlike conduct flag this year. What do you think the over-under is on that? That he gets an unsportsmanlike conduct call. What do you think? Let's see. I'll take 2-1 on that one. There's no doubt he's getting unsportsmanlike conduct. How you doing, right? They're going to bait his ass. Sills, they should have traded him or cut him. We love Goddard, but he's never available when he's needed. Not what they needed to do. Okay? What they needed to do was they needed to go out and go out and find themselves another tight end. They needed to make some trades. They didn't address the tight end position. Hey, who's the Harrison Bryant guy? Who was touting that guy all offseason? The Harrison Bryant dude. Let me take a look at Dallas Goedert and how many games that Dallas Goedert has missed in the last 5 years. How many games has this dude missed? Dallas Goedert, hang on. Dallas Goedert. Hurt again, he's out? Come on, dog. So let's see how many games that he's actually missed. All right. So he's missing this week. Okay, so there's one. He got one this week, 1 year. Last year, he missed 7. The year before that, he missed 3. There's 11. The year before that, he missed 5. So in the last 1, 2, 3, 4, in 2 games, he's missed 16 ball games. Do you think that number's high or low? You've basically missed an entire season. In the last 4 games, or the last 4 years and 2 games, you've missed almost a full season. Yeah. Am I wrong? Let me double check that. Because you know Big Sills is math. Okay, he was 10-10, so he missed 7. This now year, he's missing 1. Year before that, 15, 16, 7, he missed 3. So there's 11. And the year before that, he missed 5. So that's 16 games. Since 2022, he's missed 16 ball games. 4 years and 2 games. Comes out to just about a season he's missed in 4 years. Do you think that's a lot? And you're banking on, that guy? Like I said, Denny, I said this guy misses 25% of his career. And nobody thinks that's a big deal. 75% you play of your career in Philly, and the rest of it is injured. I no wonder. Hey, give it to Howie. Give it to Howie here, because he's right to ask for a pay cut. He's dead on. Hey, bro, we can't have you at that number, $14 million. You're never healthy. I mean, why do you think they asked him to take a pay cut? He had the most receptions of any receiver / tight end in the postseason last year. Why would you ask him to take a pay cut? The only reason is because of his availability. Too much for sure. He's pretty damn effective when he's available. Okay. Nobody's debating. Hey, the only reason he's on the team is because he's good. That's the only reason. Because if he was decent, he'd be cut. Seals, honestly, why is he always hurt? Hey, dude, some guys are just built that way. Is it his style of play because he's so physical, to John's point? Yes. He's just not built for the physicality. Is Xander wrong when he says he's one of the top talents at the position? You put him in the top 10? Yeah, I would. He's not wrong there. But you can't build a game plan around a guy who misses 25% of your season, can you? I mean, and most of hey, get this, at least it's not in a critical time this year. He was healthy when it counted last year. More significantly, suppose he ramped up his blocking game. Calcaterra. Well, okay. Calcaterra is not an NFL tight end. He's kind of a dude that Jalen likes. All right? He's like a dude. You see that tight end last night for the Packers? Who is that? Holy shit. Who was that guy last night? I knew he was on it. Who is that guy? Man. Wow. I mean, you talk about Jordan Love getting somebody better. Holy shit. Tucker Kraft. Welcome to the party. That dude looks like, yeah. Holy man. Listen, yeah, I heard the name. I did. I heard the name. I didn't think he was that good. Now, again, it's September. Let's be cool here with that. All right, let me go here. How many people think the Packers are going to be a problem for the Eagles this year? Are getting talked into Crawford. How many people believe that the Packers are going to be a problem for the Eagles this year? I'm going to ask Xander this in a couple minutes. I heard some of his comments too. He doesn't buy the Commanders. After 2 games in September, well, I'll tell you this, I'm not buying the Packers. I'm not buying the Packers. Haven't you learned your lesson? Okay, Xander says they're not winning the East. Nor are you. The Packers, haven't you learned a lesson? So wait a minute. You guys looked like see this? The Eagles looked like horse shit in September of last year. Horse shit. Horse doodoo donkey. Bad football in September. Bad football. You guys wanted the coach fired. Oh, get this. Once again, your most of your metrics, like you guys use, you use it to fill your narrative. Because you've made a prediction this year that you don't believe that the Commanders are going to take a step back. But you bought it. And by the way, who the fuck did the Eagles play in week 1? The 14-3 Cowboys? I must have missed that. I must have missed the 14-3 Cowboys. And you struggled against them. Well, we didn't have Carter. Don't be a dumbass. And Lannon's not healthy. Well, that's not a Cowboy problem. Don't make it sound like you guys were dominant. You got beat at the point of attack on both sides of the football in that game. And again, it's September. How you doing? Last year, you wanted your head football coach fired. That's how bad you were playing. Hurts was a turnover machine. They were screaming for the guy to get canned. Meltdown in 23, it's carrying over. It's carrying over. They go on. When Hurts is healthy, they don't lose another game. Haven't you learned a lesson? Obviously not. September is a liar's month. Green Bay hasn't proven shit to me, except that they've played well in these 2 games. Are you buying Jordan Love to carry a football team 4 games in the postseason and to get through the NFC? Are you? Not me yet. You know, the only redeeming moment that I see here, I'll use a Xander Krause metric. You know, if you're going to hold that playoff that he had turnovers, Justin Herbert against him, and I give him credit for beating Mahomes. Okay, no problem. I get it. Jordan Love went into Dallas and did rip them a new one. So he does have some pedigree of winning in the playoffs. However, I see too many bad mistakes and I see too much bad football out of him. I saw bad football last night. Teams are going to catch up with that defense. I mean, there's no doubt Parsons has brought an energy to the team. It's funny. I'll sit here and take a shit on Kevin Petula, and you guys will say, Sills, it's one game. You guys will sit here and tell me that they lose their first game of the year, Washington, and they're no good based on 2 games. Like it. Hey, that's a fair metric. But wait, it doesn't fit my narrative. So I'll ask again, are you buying the Packers? I'm not. They look good. They looked good last night. Jaden Daniels said it perfectly. They ran into a good football team last night who have gotten out of the gate well. That's not an indictment on either team. Haven't you learned your lessons yet? Last year 2 years ago, you got out to a 10-1 start. Last year, you got out to a 2-2 start. Haven't you learned it yet or no? Or is it really about being right? Okay. How many are buying the Packers? I'm buying the Packers more than the Commanders right now. Right now, I like that little safe. See that? Right now? Okay, I'll take that line. No problem with that. Right now? Sure. The way Big Sills talks about December, you think he was part of Earth, Wind, and Fire. Whew. New material, kid. One thing I've noticed, Sills, Green Bay, for me, kind of took long to put the game away. So that tells me you can come back on them. They were great last night. No doubt about it. They put up over 400 and something yards in total offense and held Washington to like 2-something. Had a great game. It's September. The good and the bad. You don't know what it is. You don't know who Green Bay is yet. You have no idea. I have no idea who the Eagles are yet. We'll get a good sense of it versus Kansas City. You have a chance to put them away. Jaden Daniels is too busy in his Creole hut eating jambalaya and beans instead of developing his game. That's not what went on there. It's actually a stupid comic from a stupid dude as usual. I regret the 4 seconds I just gave away of my life. I wish I had him back. That won't happen again. If September is a liar's month, then October 5th against the Broncos will show our true colors. I think once you get in there and once you get into a position where you're in the middle of October, I think it gives you more of a sense of where you are. Yes, I'm with you. Sills says new material, but been talking about the Cowboy week for a week because that's the only metric we have right now. What are we going to talk about? The fucking Super Bowl? Your infamous predictions or give me a seance of what you think your football team isn't with all the moves your GM has made? Help me out here. You have one metric heading into Sunday. Yeah. Congratulations to you, kid. Way to dissect it. Thank God for our old lineman. Dude, That's right. Your O-line makes it very difficult for people to sleep at night. No question. Dickerson being injured? Got it. Sills, could the Eagles get Denzel Ward? You keep bringing this up. For what? A first-round draft pick? Second? Third? What? What are you giving up? And why would the Browns do that going into week 2? Sills, can you break down how to read a zone defense as a quarterback? I think this would be beneficial for quarterbacks. Absolutely. Pre-snap read is important in a zone defense. Free safety, strong safety, linebacker, nickel. Okay? Your quarterback comes to the line of scrimmage. He first has to set protection. He's got to figure out if that coordinator is bringing pressure, perimeter, internal. Late safety blitzes, delayed linebacker blitzes. He's got to figure that out. He sees that with landmarks. And this is why a lot of defenses do the bunch huddle. Do you know what the bunch huddle is? They'll sit in the middle of the field, and Baltimore designed this. It's really great. I think Rex Ryan was the first to do it. They'll do the bunch huddle, and they'll wait until the quarterback gets his guys to the line of scrimmage. Then they'll go to their positions. And when the quarterback says set, he sets the line. You'll have post or pre-snap movement, and they'll move to their actual place. The quarterback has got to figure out free safety, strong safety. Where is the free and strong safety? Okay? And if he sees that, he'll know the Y or the Z is going to be open and single coverage, or if they're going to drop man down. He's looking for people. And he's trying to determine from a landmark, and the defense and alignment will give you usually that landmark. It's called a pre-snap read. And that guy will sit there and know where the open guy is. Brady was a thrower that knew where to throw the football. He didn't have the arm talent that Aaron Rodgers has. Aaron Rodgers has the arm talent that would give him a position. Aaron Rodgers could scan the field. And by the way, what did Brady do that was sensational too? Something Hurts still hasn't developed. Brady moved the secondary and free safety with his head. And what happens? They slide. And what Brady's doing is giving more space for the Y to get open down in the underneath zone. So if you move your head, you know you're coming back with a crossing route or a slant. So you're moving those points out there in the secondary, the free and strong. This is how you read a defense. You're moving guys around. Drop back, move your head, free safety, and if you notice, they move with the quarterback's movement. If he goes back and he's looking this way, everyone slides, right? Peyton Manning used to set up the strong safety all the time with that, knowing full well he'd have to wheel around and get back over there because they were going to the Z. It's all pre-snap. Okay? Still showing his football IQ, I'm so confused. It's not that, no. Leon, simple. Free safety, strong safety. Where are they lined up? If you're playing man or zone, you'll know. Here's zone. He's going to only come across, put a guy in motion. That guy is going to go like this. He's going to come to the middle of the field, and then he's going to go back to his position. That's zone defense. If that guy follows you all the way across, that's man defense. And you're going backside with a tight end. And he's probably going to hit the tight end on the number. It's not really, it is. But again, that's in the weed stuff. And again, when you're watching game film and you're on defense, I'm watching this with some of the best defensive coaches of all time. Dave Wannstedt would school us all and show us what zone, what man, And he would do everything and show us because he wanted all of us to know what defenses were. Dave won 3 Super Bowls as a coordinator. And he wanted all of us to know what responsibilities were. Why does Jalen not do this? He's getting better at it because he's still learning how to set the protections. Dude, setting the protections. He's still taking 50 sacks a year, counting the playoffs. He struggles with pressure. He still struggles with pressure. And that throws him off sometimes on finding the open guy. I still think he's more concerned about setting protection instead of worrying about where the pressure's coming from because he takes sacks. Okay? He just takes too many sacks. Seals, how many games does it take for players to get into game shape? I think it depends on your age. I think if you're in your late 30s, I think it takes longer. I think if you're 25, 24, like Parsons, I think he'll be ramped up by next week and ready to roll. Seals, is it true there's only 8 defensive formations? I think that's changed now because the game's played more in space now. Okay? It is. It's played more in space. Seals, do you know of any other quarterback or QB outside of Hurts that had multiple coordinators? Not like this. Now, I think you're going to get that, Blaine, when you don't have a head football coach. It's not a play-calling head coach. And if you have a really gifted organization like the Eagles do, you're going to have that revolving door. Sills, don't you combat the bunch disguise and pre-snap movement with yes. And the Eagles do this great. They go up tempo. Absolutely. Yes, sir. They go up tempo. Absolutely. When you go up tempo, you help the quarterback in reads. Bob, when you go up tempo, he has to do less reading. Sacks, turnovers, but that is Jalen's weakness. Taking too many sacks. Still, he does everything else. He's seeing the game better. But like I said about the Brady conversation today, that thing was a masterclass. You know, Brady would rank Kevin Petullo right now as the 30th best coordinator in the game. And it's nothing to do with Kevin. He might evolve into being one of the best. But if you listen to Brady, Brady's telling you, have you done enough to develop the quarterback? How can you develop a quarterback when you've had, how many offensive coordinators have Hurts had in the last 5 years? 4? How are you developing them? By what? Running the same kind of type of system? Dude, if I implore you to watch that 5 minutes. He took a shit on Colin Cowherd's narrative about coordinators because he made this comment like this. Hey, isn't it Thanksgiving time? It's year 2. Don't you think it's time for Chicago to move off of Caleb Williams? He goes, well, what are they teaching them? Why don't you rank these coordinators? You rank these quarterbacks, rank the coordinators. You're not ranking Kevin Petullo in the top 10. He's never called a fucking play. And by the way, very uninspiring in the first one. Couldn't get the ball in the hands of AJ and Devontae. You want a high grade because the quarterback figured out how to go to paper mache Goddard and how to go to Jahan Dotson? That's on the quarterback. Brady laid it out for you. That wasn't Kevin Petullo on game 1 against the Cowboys. That was Hurts figuring it out. It may have been you. It's a wonderful take. Jalen Hurts has been questioned about passing since Bama. It's not changed. However, you know what he has gotten better at? Seeing the game. All right, shit. Well, that ain't working. So fuck, I got to go here and here. And I got to use my wheels. That to me is seeing again. Dude, he's like self-teaching himself. And maybe all the coordinators Shane Steichen's been the best. Hey, how many people watched Daniel Jones last week? I had to look it up and make sure that was the same Daniel Jones. Now, I'm not telling you that Daniel Jones is going to be some sort of super player. But what I saw week 1, that guy was on the practice squad after being cut in New York, in Minnesota. I mean, you put him in a system where a quarterback kind of knows his skill set. Let's see what hey, I think the Colts have an upset this week. Who they play? I think they beat Denver. Just saying. All right. Kansas City. I disagree with Mike, but I do agree with him on one thing. It's Patrick Mahomes. Now, what the Eagles could say is, yeah, well, I saw Patrick Mahomes 9 months ago, and that didn't make an issue of it. And that didn't matter. Well, it's a whole different football team on both sides. Like, how about this? You may have gotten worse, but you were a Super Bowl champion. Here's the difference. They got worse and destroyed in that game. You didn't get worse to a point where you're lesser than the rest of the teams in the NFC. You're still the pony at the lead. You're still that team. I don't think Kansas City is, man. I think, and I'm with Mike and everyone else, I think the Chargers, he's picking the Chargers to play the Eagles in the Super Bowl. Wow. All right. Without further ado, don't forget, we got the pre- and post-game show. That'll be on Sunday. He is our friend, Big Z. Xander Kraus joins us right now.
What up, Big Sills? How you doing, brother?
What do you got going on this weekend, man? What do you think? Kansas City? Philly, what do you got, man? I want to hear your prediction. I got 34-19.
Oh, it's a good prediction. I like that. I got 28-17.
Eagles. What'd you have?
I got 28-17. I don't think the Chiefs have enough on offense to get into the end zone more than that. No, maybe Xavier Worthy's out there. That could change it a little bit, but even then, no Rashee Rice, not a great running game. I don't love Pacheco anymore. I don't know about Kareem Hunt, what he can do versus our defense. So I got 28-17. The Birds are going to win the football game in Kansas City. So 28 points, I understand, is kind of rich. Now, it's not that many points, but that's a tough place to play.
It is.
That is it's a loud place to play. You heard John talk about some of the Eagles players refer to it as almost deafening.
It is
in the ears. So look, that's something to factor in on offensive side of the ball. But I think they're going to hand that ball off to Saquon Barkley. They're going to be able to do what they want to do in this football game. And I got 28-17.
I've got some things to keep an eye on heading into this game. Okay. And I threw this in here. I want to know the health of Landon Dickerson. I want to know what's going to happen at corner 2. I want to know what the safety position is going to be going in because Mahomes is going to attack. You saw him attack Greenlaw. When Greenlaw went out in that Super Bowl, you know they're going corner 2 and they're going safety. Kevin Patullo will be an issue. Pass rushing will be an issue. I want to know how much is Zadarius Smith going to play? Are you going to be able to get pressure? The Chargers got pressure on him. So to me, going into this game, I got a question mark going in. How's Kevin Patullo going to get that going? Is he going to get the passing game? Because I'll say this, I want to keep an eye on the run game too.
Well,
Last week was not very good for Saquon Barkley.
Well, I mean, that's what they focused on. But, you know, I think
they focused also on shutting down AJ and Devontae.
Well, they loaded the box and they ran brackets on the corner on the receivers.
Okay.
I think that's actually what Spags is going to do. And the thing to learn from what Eberflus did, he did have a good plan last week.
He did.
I think that's fair to say that Eberflus had a good plan. And the reason the Eagles were able to prevail in that good plan is because Jalen Hurts was able to pick on them and move the sticks with his legs over and over again, especially in that first half. So that's why I think the Eagles offense was able to run to do what they were able to do last week. Now, if you're Spags coming into this game and you want to take that plan, how do you mitigate Jalen Hurts if you're going to run a similar defense to what he did, right? Me and John talked about this morning. You almost can't rush the passer if you think about it. Like, if you're going to rush 4 and keep the box loaded and keep the receivers in brackets, the minute your edge rushers start going like this, all Jalen Hurts does is whoop, step outside, boom, 6 yards, first down. He did it. How many times did we watch him do it to the Cowboys last week? So if you're not going to keep a spy, because I don't think they'll keep us. Look, if they keep a spy, though, it just takes a guy out of coverage. And that makes it a lot harder now to bracket A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith as successfully as they did last year.
Well, I don't have to worry about Goddard in that, though. I have a guy.
That's a big thing.
So now
Prince brings up the right point. Why did Goddard have 7 targets and 7 catches last week? Because the brackets left the middle of the field wide open. Now you got Grant Calcaterra in there. Now, I don't like Grant at blocking, but remember, there were some games last year where Calcaterra could catch the ball. So you're going to need him to catch the ball. Yeah, they just ruled Goddard out officially. So Goddard's not playing in this football game.
That's why, to me, I don't have to worry about Goddard in this ball game.
So you think they're going to keep
That's why I do drop a spy in here, and I put him in the middle of the field, because if I have a guy, Calcaterra, I think he can catch the ball. I do. I think he's not a very good blocker. He can't block to save his life. He can make some plays, but I don't think that they're going to have him as an essential part of the game plan heading in. By the way, doesn't that make them light? Because now you're going to this football game with only 2 tight ends. Is that right?
Right. Well, you got Calcaterra and Granson. So, and neither of those two guys are all that impressive. Now, Calcaterra can catch the ball.
He can.
So to Prince's point, if they're going to run those brackets again, you need a guy in the middle of the field who can catch the ball. You might have another game of Jahan Dotson and Calcaterra in this one. That's why Dotson's interesting, because
he's gotten better.
He's gotten better, but they're going to rely on him more if teams are going to come in and bracket AJ the way that they did last week.
I think the key is running the ball too. They got to run it. Look, they were not bad running the ball, but that was more Hurts running the ball.
100%. Because Saquon wasn't all that.
Saquon wasn't a factor.
Yeah,
Get this. Saquon wasn't a factor. AJ wasn't a factor, and Devontae wasn't a factor. Jahan Dotson.
See, I don't get this. Like Matt says shallow mesh all day. Why don't we see more of that in the Eagles offense?
I don't know.
Like, we don't see any of that. Like, I can count on one hand.
Game, no middle.
The amount of times, though, that Jalen drops back, looks, and fires. Like, we don't do that. He doesn't do that.
No 3-step drop, nothing like that. Nothing.
I would like to see more of that, because you think that the team that would be able to take advantage of that.
Get him in space.
Jalen doesn't like dumping down. Jalen doesn't like dumping it down, but
all the great ones to win Super Bowls and all that consistently.
I don't agree with this either. Pumper says Hurts can't read the zone.
That's
true. I mean, Pumper, when you got to realize some of those zone reads that he calls when he puts himself in a running position, he calls them for that reason, because he knows he's going to go and pick up the first down.
I think he's gotten better. I don't think he was very good at it.
He's not perfect at it. Yeah, he's not. He
missed 4 open guys, but listen, man. I mean, he had the most time. However, I'm thinking he's getting better, and he's still setting the protections. So I think this is all evolving with him. I do. I don't know, Pump. I don't agree with that. I think he's gotten better at reading his landmarks and understanding. Have you listened to that, Brady?
Dude, you keep talking about it. I've been working. I have it. I just retweeted it on my page.
Bro.
People will probably say, I don't know why you did that. Just so I can find it, because I couldn't find it. And then I found it, and now I retweeted it. So once I get off here, I'm going to rewatch it. But I can't speak from having seen it.
It's the best I've ever heard a quarterback ever break down how you get developed. And let me play this in and tie this into Hurts here and Kevin Patullo. So Colin Cowherd came up with this idea that, after your first year and your second year, if your coordinator and your coach aren't really moving the sticks, you have to have a conversation with your general manager that this isn't the guy. Brady fired back like this. Well, what are they teaching him? I mean, does the guy know what he's doing?
Yeah, I heard you explain it.
He said Brady went like this. Bill Belichick came in the second year of Brady's years there with New England. He came in and coached him every single day on too high and said, don't put your team in this position, put your team in this position. He taught him how to put his offense in winning situations. He said it was the greatest coaching he'd ever had. And then the most important thing, I've never heard Jalen Hurts say this. Brady said that Belichick would go, now do me a favor, go to Scott Pioli and go to Nick Caserio, the general managers, and I want you to get what Trent McDuffie, guy this weekend you're playing, what's his strengths and weaknesses of what that guy does. And I want you to come back and me and you are going to make a game plan on how to attack that guy's strengths and weaknesses. Before you know it, Brady knew all the personnel. He had a book written on guys like Ed Reed and all these guys. I've never heard that kind of talk when it comes to developing of Jalen Hurts. I've heard Nick talk. I've heard Kellen talk. Last year, they didn't develop Jalen Hurts in the passing game. They developed a run game. They developed a run football game last year, not Jalen. Jalen is doing this on his own almost, which is so fucking impressive. It's unreal.
Because you can tell that Jalen has the desire to learn these things.
Yeah, but this is why he has conversations at the beginning of the year going, well, it's a work in progress, or it's like it's changed 95%, or it's this. You never hear Tom Brady talking that stuff. It's fucking wild. When you listen to it, it's going to change your whole perspective. So I added this into it. Kevin, he goes, well, rank the coordinators. What do they know what they're doing? And so, people asked him about first-year coordinators. He's like, what does a first-year coordinator know how to do? How to move the sticks? How would he know how to move the sticks? How would he know how to get guys open? Why? Because he sat and had cupcakes with the offensive coordinator? He wouldn't know that.
Right.
That has to be something you're teaching yourself. So Kevin Patullo, dude, in my opinion, if you were to rank him as an offensive coordinator right now in the league, he'd be 30th.
Wow. He's incomplete, dude. He's called one game.
Okay.
One fucking game.
I gave him the benefit of the doubt at being one of the top 32. You want to go incomplete? I think that's worse.
Well, it's not worse because you can't be.
It is worse
because you have a
no
resume.
record of it.
You gotta
Why
start
are you
somewhere.
turning over a Super Bowl offensive MVP of the Super Bowl to a guy who's not even experienced in play calling?
No, because where you're right is, he doesn't have experience, but where I don't know if you're right is I don't think I've seen Kevin Patullo wasn't great with the route concepts, but when you're talking specifically about what it sounds like Brady was talking about with teaching quarterbacks what to see when they're in cover 2, cover 3, man coverage, all these different coverages, Jalen identified that well in week 1. That's part of the reason he didn't throw the ball, because they were in brackets, so he just didn't throw it out there at all.
I said he figured that out on his own.
Well, why are you not giving Patullo any credit for that?
Because
and you're just killing him for the route concept.
In-game decisions on what to do by pulling the ball back and taking off with his legs. That's not a design play. That's a guy off script. He's going off script of what the play was. You're right. During brackets, Jalen went like this, off script, run.
All right. Well, I don't disagree with that part of it. I'm just not ready to say that Kevin Patullo sucks. I mean,
it's September.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if he sucks yet.
Listen, No. It's September. I said it wasn't a good look in the first game when Barkley's taken out. Your 2 top receivers are taken out. Hurts had to do a lot of ad-libbing. Do you not agree and go off script a lot?
Oh, he definitely does. That's part of where he makes that's how he butters his bread, man. Yeah.
And I'm giving him a lot of love here. It's either this, Xander, either they had struggles on, like you said, in route concepts. The receivers couldn't get open. Hurts missed some throws, albeit I got it. I'm not going to say he didn't, but he also had the concept of being able to figure the game out as it went on, because Dallas was getting pressure on him. Dallas was able to do enough in the run game to kind of slow it down. You take Hurts's running away, bro, you're like 90 yards rushing, 75 yards rushing if you take that away, right? So where was the offense? It was in Hurts's wheels and in his hands. It was him that made that off-schedule plays, Now,
Well, how much of
it
that
is
is
one. It is one game. It's September. It's a liar's month. No doubt. I'm with you on that. Okay, I am.
how much of that is that? How much of that is the style of quarterback that we have in the offense right now? And I don't say this as a knock at all. I just mean players have different skill sets. Tom Brady was dissected defenses from the pocket and threw the ball to beat teams. That's how his offenses were. If he wasn't able to do that on any given Sunday, they didn't have a good offense. Jalen Hurts' offense is very different. Sometimes it looks like that, but very rarely. You've had a few instances last year, Pittsburgh, maybe the NFC Championship game, maybe the Super Bowl when Spags took away the run game. Very few instances of that. And Kenzo brings up a good point. Where is that comment? Where is that comment? Let me find that thing. Kellen's offense threw the ball 46 times on Sunday. So it's just like you hear it like Kellen, who was pass happy with Dak and had the number one passing offense in football with Dak, then comes to Philly. He doesn't pass the ball very much. And then he goes to New Orleans, and now he's throwing the ball all over the place again. Like, in a way, I think a lot of our offensive output is dictated by Jalen Hurts. And some people have a problem with that. I don't have a problem with that because it continues to win football games. And I think the thing that makes it work is what you always say with how smart of a player he is and how he sees the game. I don't need to beat you through the air. I don't need to beat you on the ground. I need a good combination of both based on what you're giving me to move the sticks, get into the end zone, and win football games. I think it's very simple with Jalen Hurts, but part of me wonders if the expectations or the desires are not, are not aligned with what we're ever going to see because of what we have in the skill set of the quarterback. And I don't think that's a bad thing, but I wonder if we're expecting the wrong thing here.
Well, as long as you expect to win. Now,
that's what I mean.
You're right. You're never going to see what the optics are going to want. People are never going to see the optics that they want in this offense. Well, this is easy. There's no Saquon Barkley in fucking New Orleans. And
that's true.
There's no Barkley in New Orleans. And on top of that, what is the skill set of the coordinator? He's not a run guy. Why would I hand the ball off to a guy 38 times in New Orleans when you don't really have a running back that could take the carries of 38 guys? I don't have Saquon Barkley there. So I am going to throw the ball 46 times. Spencer Rattler's not a runner. He's a passer. So again, it's to what you said, Xander. It's to the skill set of the quarterback that you have in the building there. So, I thought it was wild listening to it. And like you said, I'm not indicting it. I'm just keeping an eye on it because I want to see how he does going into this game. I asked you this yesterday. Do you think they overcorrect in this game on Sunday?
Yeah, I don't think they overcorrect. I think Jalen Hurts is.
How do you approach Kansas City Chiefs defense this time around?
Well, I think you have probably a way of that you want to go about your business to get them. Where are the Kansas City Chiefs defense built? They got Chris Jones, they got Trent McDuffie. Those are their two-star players. They got Drew Tranquil, who's a good linebacker. They got a couple other good players as well. But
I think they're weak on the edges.
Right. They're weak on the edges. And outside of McDuffie, I don't really love their secondary all that much either.
In the middle of the field, they're safeties.
Right. So, probably come in with the game plan to try and attack some of those weaknesses. But at the end of the day, I think the Eagles are going to take what they're given.
Isn't this a game that's set up to throw the ball deep?
I don't think so.
Their safeties stink in corner. You just said it.
Stink, but if they play too high, they could stink. The throws aren't going to be there.
You think they got good? Did you watch good linebacker play against Justin Herbert?
No,
I didn't see it. I didn't see.
Oh, you know what else I saw with Justin Herbert? They could have managed that every time he took off.
I know
he had a back-breaking run for that team. So now you got Justin Herbert, to his credit,
nowhere near Hurts.
Well,
running the ball
nowhere near him in terms of throwing the football.
No. That's
they're
right.
Not a perfect comp, and I don't. Again, that's not a knock on either player. I hate when people think that's such a knock. Different players have different skill sets. It's not a crazy thing to say at all. Different people are good at different things.
Right.
Justin Herbert, though, who is pretty mobile for a 6'5" dude, really beat them up when he ran the ball last week. He had that big run late in the game So I think that's kind of an advantage. And Steve's going to have to play them a little bit differently because he knows that Jalen, will take off quicker and has a propensity to do it quicker than Herbert would. Herbert, while he can do it, would still prefer to sit back there and deliver that ball. So two different styles of quarterbacks, but, it will be interesting. I don't know. I almost don't know what the offense is going to want to do in the game. What do you think they're going to want to do? Do they want to get AJ involved? What does that look like? Because I think Steve is going to you're going to see a version of Steve's Super Bowl defense and what Dallas did in week 1, right? Because Steve let them destroy him in the air whenever the opportunity was presented because he took away Saquon, but he sold out to take away Saquon. So if you're going to sell out to take away Saquon and keep the receivers limited, what do? You stack the box and you keep too high safety. That's what they're going to do, I think. And then that's going to leave Jalen probably a lot of room to run underneath, probably a lot of quick passes, and they haven't really been great at that. That's where I think Kevin Petula is got to do some things this week to get the ball out of Jalen Hurts' hands quickly. But again, I think Jalen Hurts is going to manage the game the right way, as he has very consistently. We've won 15 straight games of him starting and finishing.
Well, he's played really well in the last 3 games against KC. He won at Arrowhead. He won the Super Bowl, right?
Yep.
And the Super Bowl, maybe it's the last 4 games, right? Is that the last 4? He lost the Super Bowl, played well in. He turned around the following year, played in Kansas City and beat him at Arrowhead, right? Then he turned around and he beat him this last year in the Super Bowl. So, yep. The last 4 games, one thing you got to say about him is that against Spags, if Todd Bowles has his number, boy, Jalen really has played awful well against Steve Spagnuolo.
Yeah, that's true. No, he definitely has. He's played really well against Spags. And, I don't know what – I wonder if Spags is going to try some different things. Jalen killed him when they blitzed him. So I don't know what Spags is going to do. Is he going to sit back?
I'd rather sit back than blitz.
Yeah, but here, what do you do?
I'd rather die by slow cuts.
What do you do?
I'd rather die by slow cuts than a cut across the neck.
What do you do, though, with your pass rushers if you're Spags? Because every time
contain.
Right, you almost have to tell them, go for the quarterback, but don't really try and get there fully, because the minute you go too far, he will step up and pick up a first down.
Bro, you're hitting on it. Chris Jones has to have a super game. Keep the pocket integrity, and the interior tackles have to, and that's why you got to keep a spy there. Because
and if they do this, then Kevin Petula needs to have a great game. Because think about it, if your front 4 aren't really pressuring the quarterback intentionally because they don't want to let him pick up first downs, that means Jalen's going to be able to sit in the pocket. And if they're playing that too high bracket, guess what? Petula better scheme some people open up in the flats in the middle of the field, where you're not going to have Dallas Goedert, so he can get the ball out. If they don't give him any people to get the ball out to, it's going to be torture.
Let me go on the other side of the ball here. By the way, super chats, and please, guys, hit the like button. How does the defense attack Mahomes?
You got to get pressure. That's it on Mahomes. You got to get pressure, and then the other thing you got to do is this is where Vic's defense is perfect for this, because he doesn't have the manpower right now at receiver. So that those zone defenses that Vic is going to be in are going to be torture, because it's going to make Mahomes have to force the ball into tight windows, and you might be able to capitalize, and take advantage of that and create some turnovers or some takeaways for the defense. So, that's going to be interesting, but it's all about the pressure on Mahomes. You get him off his spot, it's going to force him to throw that ball, and that's where that zone coverage has to come in. Now, if you're Mahomes, ideally you say, pick on Adoree Jackson, but who's he picking on Adoree Jackson with? I don't know. I really don't know. Tyquan Thornton? Juju Smith-Schuster? Pucker Up says Xavier Worthy's doubtful to play. I haven't seen the update on him.
There's no way he's playing. He has separated shoulder. Come on, stop that. Get this. If he is playing, I'm going to drop him on his head. Let's go. All right. Xander. So you said that you don't think the Chiefs have the personnel at wideout, right? Well, who are your best cover guys that you have right now? Q and Cooper and who?
We got Coop, Reed, I guess, in a sense, Adoree Jackson. That's it. I think they're going to Corey Bennett pretty soon here.
Well, I don't really think you have a lot of great cover guys, but two.
No, you don't. But that's why you're going to try and
so
mask
that's a push. And if the push goes to Mahomes, I'm going Mahomes on that.
Wait, why are you saying push?
Okay, here's why. Okay, Reed, I'll give a half. I'll give two and a half.
What about Q and Coop? I don't even think they have two guys to match up with those guys.
Hold on. Well, okay. So you're going to play too high? You're going to play zone? You're going to play man? What are you going to do here against Mahomes? What do you think they're going to be in? More zone or man?
Yeah,
zone. Okay.
Obviously.
So that means there's going to be an underneath. And there's going to be room for him to find passing lanes underneath. Not high. That's what too high is. They don't want you to get deep. Plus 25.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to play a lot of too high because with no Xavier Worthy, now maybe Tyquan, but
maybe they shrink this.
If you come into this game with the game plan to stop Tyquan Thornton,
I've never heard of fucking Tyquan.
You don't have the right game plan. So no,
what's his name? Taekwondo?
Tyquan Thornton or something like that.
I've never heard of the guy.
He's apparently pretty quick though. He does have 4.2 speed.
But here, follow me here. I don't think you really have great cover guys outside of two dudes. I mean, these other guys may not be top flight wideouts.
But isn't some of that masked?
You don't have top flight cover guys.
Yeah, but isn't some of that masked to a certain extent by the zone? I'm not saying you're off the hook.
Masked by pressure.
Well, it's also masked though because you're not asking them to stick on somebody. You know, you're asking them to fill a zone. Now, when you have guys like CeeDee Lamb who runs routes like he did last week and gets open, yeah, you got problems. But this is where I think the Chiefs are fucked because they don't have a receiver.
But Dak is not Mahomes. Mahomes is gonna make average wide receivers like he did in the Super Bowl to beat you.
But Tyquan Thornton is not CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens.
Yeah, but who the fuck is Juju Smith-Schuster? He was almost out of the game. He played in Canada.
Maybe.
No, listen. What I'm saying again is, last year you guys covered every one of those zones with CJ, with Slay, with Coop in the slot, what you had at safety, and what you had on the other side with Q. Your linebackers were dropping exceptional. Okay? You don't have that same type of athletes this time this year. At least in game 2, they're not there yet. Adoree Jackson can't cover. He got spun around like a top. Bennett's not ready yet. Makuba, okay. I think I like him more in coverage than I do. Sidney Brown in coverage is a liability, dude. He is a liability.
Well, he's not. I don't think he's going to play much at all. Who do you got covering Kelsey?
Campbell. You know why? Physical. That guy is an old dude. Put the young Turk on him and beat his ass up.
Right.
Beat him up.
Well, physically, he's much better matchup for sure. And honestly, you know, Campbell has showed pretty good promise in the coverage game for a linebacker. I mean,
this has to be a Bond game and a Carter game. Bond and Carter have to be enormous. Bond going sideline to sideline. Bro, when Bond has those two dudes in front of him, and yes, that includes Jordan Davis, when he's got the free run around, he's great in space, Xander. He really is. I think it's going to be interesting to see how Mahomes attacks Vic's defense because I don't really think you have the open space tacklers you had a year ago. You were one of the best tackling teams a year ago. I don't know if you have that, especially in corner right, CB2 and safety yet. I think McCoy.
Well, let's be real. Slay was a great player. Slay wasn't the best tackler either. You know.
No, but you kept everything underneath, and your linebackers were able to make plays.
What I liked about Slay was he might not have been the best tackler, but he didn't really get beat. You know, he just didn't really make the hit. But he got you out of bounds.
What did he do? He grabbed you and took a 15 instead of
or got you out of bounds. You know, or pushed you to the sideline to get you out of bounds. So. No, I don't know. I mean, you're not wrong about that. I think Adoree is a problem there. Excuse me. I think Makuba is a little bit of a concern there. I mean, you had CJ Gardner-Johnson last year, who was a much more physical player. Well, not necessarily. Makuba's very physical, but Makuba hasn't proven that his size can hold up at the NFL level, and I think that's the problem with him. But I don't know. How'd they grade out tackling week 1? I should go and look at that.
Yeah, let me
See if I
hear
can
that.
pull that up.
Because they had to grade out better than Dallas, right? I thought Dallas didn't tackle very well. Well, they had to have because nobody had any catches except for the two dudes. Goddard. Dude, Goddard's got to go, man. What the fuck, man? He's hurt again. Dude, John's crazy, man. That guy's missed 25% of his career in the last 5 years. Xander, 25% he's missed. He's missed 16 games in the last 4 years in 2 games. Do you think that's a lot? Xander, do you think that's a lot?
That's a lot, bro. Yeah,
16
I'm not buying John's bullshit either on that.
16 games he's missed in 4 games in 2 years. Or 4 years and 2 games. Dude, that's a ton.
All right, I'm looking at our defense right now. I love this thing that I will say, I know people chirp PFF, but the one thing I like about their website is you get really interactive stuff. Like, let me show you guys this real quick. I know people, again, I'm not trying to.
No. They have
people don't like PFF, but
I
mean,
do.
this stuff is dope. You know, you can come in here like this and you can just look at, 11 personnel, 12 personnel, opponent. You can line up a team opponent. You know what I mean? That's an opponent. You can go into base coverage, or you can go into where was the
do you know the only thing that they don't do?
Look, you go nickel or base. I mean, this stuff is awesome to be able to look at.
The only thing that you have a problem with PFF is you don't know what the offensive coordinator is thinking and why he's doing that and calling those plays. It's more analytics, right? And it's based on percentages.
Yeah, I mean, look, it is a little bit. Yeah, it's a little bit not.
It's too technical, a little bit.
It's very technical. Again, I'm not saying it's perfect. I'm just saying there are some things on there there are some things on there that are really nice.
Yes.
Really nice tools to have, especially for someone like obviously what I'm doing is covering the game. So let's look at this Dallas game and see how the team graded out in tackling. Oh, I can't find this damn.
I didn't think they were terrible.
No, I don't think they were either. But I'm about to find out.
I mean, I can't think anybody really well. I think CD's drops probably helped that a lot. I think those drops helped a ton there, but I mean, George Pickens didn't have a big game.
They were the number 8 ranked team in football in week 1 in tackling. So not bad. Not bad.
How do you think that number would have changed?
The Chiefs were at the bottom.
How do you think that number would have changed if CD makes those catches?
In tackling, probably not much, but in coverage it would have been terrible.
Okay.
Coverage would have been terrible. They were graded out as the 10th, graded, not ranked or anything, not like all based on numbers, just based on the PFF grades. They were the 10th ranked defense in week 1. So the Packers defense is looking good. We got to talk about that. We have to talk about that.
No, absolutely. Okay.
We got to talk about that game.
You're not buying the Packers right now, are you?
I'm not saying I'm buying them in terms of they're going to the Super Bowl, but that's a legitimate contender.
Okay. Well, September's a liar's month, and I'll say it again. People were talking about New Orleans being a superstar team, and I still don't believe. And get this, it's not.
Yeah,
Michael
but there's
Parsons.
differences.
Hold on, it's not Michael Parsons. It's not the defense. It's Love. I don't buy him still.
He makes.
I saw shitty plays last night.
He makes me a little. Yeah, he missed guys last night all over the place, dude.
I mean,
but I'll say this: in your opinion, what's the top 2 or 3 things that make an NFL football team a team that can contend, even if they don't have all the players or all the talent? What's the top 2 or 3 things? Because there's 2 things that stick out to me easily.
You got to have a great O-line, and you've got to have a defense.
Got to have a good defense. I think defensive line, most importantly.
Okay.
And I look at that Packers team.
How about this? I'll take this. You got to have a defense that can stop people. Whatever that means. Stop people.
Did that defense look like a defense that can stop people to you?
Yeah, they were great last night.
But anyway, go to the trenches. Packers O-line is pretty solid. They were missing 2 offensive linemen in that game last night, and they still looked okay. Commanders didn't get that much pressure.
No, they did not.
So offensive line is solid. And that defensive line, I know people don't like Michael Parsons. That defensive line is a fucking problem, dude. That they can't block all those dudes on that defensive line.
They finished 26th in rushing defense last year. So you're saying
Well, last year. I
and
mean,
you just love Kenny Clark.
Huh? Well, they lost Kenny Clark. They added Micah Parsons. He was. Come on, man. He was tormenting.
And do you think Washington has a good run game?
No. Oh my gosh. I think that's where they overplayed their hand. But wait, can we get to them? So
yeah,
you're right. It's too early for the Packers yet. I'm just saying they have the makings of if they stay healthy, if Jordan Love doesn't fuck everything up, like they got a lot of receivers, they got the good tight end. They have the makings of it.
They lost that kid for a little bit.
Yeah, it's September. I'm with you. I'm not ready to say
they're probably going to get that kid back too. That kid who hurt his shoulder.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, because again, it wasn't. It was more of a break.
So that's my point. Like
too. Okay,
that's why I think the Packers are going to be there. Now, in the same vein, in the same breath, this is why I'm not sold on the Commanders. Okay, I look over at the other side. Javon Kinlaw was fucking nowhere yesterday. You know, they replaced Jonathan Allen with Kinlaw. He didn't look very good. They lost that dude who just got ruled out for the season. I'm blanking on his name. What's his name?
Eckler?
Shit. What's his name? He got hurt last night.
I can't think.
Who's got me last night? Commander's injury. I'm blanking on his name. He has an interesting name. Dietrich Wise. That's what it is. Dietrich Wise. He's out for the year. Defensive lineman. What's his name? Eckler's out. They just traded Brian Robinson. I don't know why. When they traded Brian Robinson, I said, why are you trading him? They're putting it all on Eckler. Now who do they got at the running game? So you got a young quarterback in year 2 who has no running game. Josh Connerly is his right tackle, who's a rookie who got now Micah Parsons. Not every week he's going to have to face Micah, but he got taken to the woodshed last night. Laramie Tunsil looked kind of how I thought, not all that great. So not in love with their offensive line, not in love with their defensive line. Their skill position players are, I don't know, does Terry McLaurin look like a $32 million wideout to you?
Yeah, well, he will be. It's week 2. I mean, it's not like the Eagles played a superstar team in the Dallas Cowboys in week 1.
Should I pull out the Big Z Book of Revelation?
Wait, Revelations here. It's week 2. Get this. You're making it sound like the Dallas Cowboys were like a 14-win team or something, that you guys played great.
No, I'm not. You're right. It's too early to make any proclamation.
And the Washington Commanders are playing a team that looks really good right now. And by the way, what was this here? Let me see this here. 17. And they lost by 11. They played shitty and lost by 11. Okay. In Lambeau. All right.
Admit this. That Packers offense left a lot on the table in that game.
Because
Jordan Love, he missed a couple throws that were
the quarterback.
Well, yeah, and that's where you're right. That's the biggest question with them, is because when Jordan Love's on his game, good quarterback, gets that ball out, throws the ball downfield. You know, the other thing that I like about the way the Packers play, but in the same time, at the same reason I like it is one of the reasons I don't like it, because I think they rely on it too much. But Matt LaFleur knows how to scheme up some deep plays.
He sure does, boy.
He knows how to scheme up some explosive plays. I mean, that's one of the Eagles' core philosophies, guys, is win the explosive play battle. That dude gets guys open deep.
I thought when Aaron Rodgers left that it was going to be whether or not this guy was really a good coach or not. I'll tell you what, bro. He's a good coach. He knows what he's doing. He was on that Washington staff with Sean McVay and all them guys. Dude, he knows what the hell he's doing. I agree with everybody. I think Green Bay looked great last night, but I have been here before.
It's too early. I get it. Yeah, I'm with you.
Dude, people wanted people fired in Philadelphia last year after 4 weeks.
That's so true. No, I know. It's way too early. I'm just saying they have the makings of the team that could be there in January. As soon as things go right for them.
Yes.
They do.
Yes. And I will agree with this on Washington. I think there were some personnel decisions that you are beginning to have to do this. Put down and keep it in the back here with notes. You don't have a run game. You moved a guy that was pretty okay. He's a Bama dude, right? The kid that they moved, he was a Bama guy.
Yeah, Jonathan Allen. You know, they still got Deron Payne, who's a good player, but yeah, I don't like what they did there. I know. How many times did we talk about that?
You moved off of Jonathan Allen.
That's what I mean. How many times? Look, and again, You're right. I ain't proven right yet. They haven't proven anything yet.
Nobody
None of the teams.
has.
You're
Nobody.
right. I'm just saying some of the things that I didn't like that they did in the offseason
Signs showed up.
Yeah. Like I didn't love what they did on the offensive line. I wasn't in love with Tunsil. I didn't love Javon Kinlaw.
The
And I'm
signs
like,
showed
I
up
still don't
last.
see it.
No, that's where you are right now. Is that the signs showed up on what some of the things that you saw going into this game. All right, let's read some of these supers, man. We got Philly Godfather coming. Hey, by the way, is there a game?
Let me send Godfather.
Is there a game this weekend that you're going to be focusing in on other than Eagles and Chiefs?
Not a great slate. Not a great slate.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm looking at these. Philly and KC have to be that's the best game of the weekend, isn't it?
You see that Prince super chat? I'm going to click on it in a second. That's a lot of sacks, bro. You were on Jalen Hurts about that, and you've talked about how they change games, and I don't think that offensive line is really good enough.
Ton, Prince.
Yeah, 7 sacks in 2 games.
7 sacks. You're giving up almost 4 sacks a game. That's a ton. Okay.
All right, let me just make sure he's got that. Prince, thanks for the super chat, brother. Jaden Daniels has 7 sacks in 2 games. I'm just saying. You're right, Prince. I mean, and that's the problem.
How about Seattle, Pittsburgh?
What's that?
Seattle at Pittsburgh? I'll tell you
what. Awful.
That Denver Indy game. I'm interested in that Denver Indy game too.
Yeah, man. Is Indy for real? Like, are you buying them at all? I mean, I know it's, again, Liars Month. You can't buy anybody, but if you had to pick the most dominant team of week 1, it was the Colts. Now, that's a team that sounds like the Saints to me from last year, not the Packers. The Packers were a playoff team last year. The Packers won 12 games. The Packers were a much better team, whereas the Saints were, I don't know.
Bro, tell me Michael Parsons hasn't brought energy to that fucking football game, though.
Dude, Michael Parsons.
It's like electricity, isn't it?
He looked good last night, dude. He was playing a rookie tackle
2 nights.
And you know what they do with him that's interesting? That happens
around.
Oh, yeah, boy. So you got Tyler Steen. Oh, boy. They're going to line him up right over Tyler Steen. You got injured Landon Dickerson, Brett Toth, and Michael Parsons coming at you. They're going to be able to use him all over. Huh?
When do they play the Packers?
I think week 10, the Eagles play the Packers. Right after the bye.
At Lambeau? It's in Lambeau, right?
Yeah, it's at Lambeau.
Oh, hey, dude, that might be one of the biggest games of the year, if not the biggest games of the year.
I think that's after the bye week. Let me make sure it's after the bye week.
Man.
Yeah, they're after the bye week. At Packers, 8:15 game. Is that a Sunday night?
No, it's Monday night.
Oh!
It's a Monday night game.
That's going to be a big week on the channel. Monday night game means Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday are going to be bangers. Let's go, baby.
Absolutely. All right, let's get the rest of these before my guy.
All right, here we go. Matt, what's up, Matt? Sills is right. Expose holes pre-snap and adjust through the game. Not scheming players open in those holes is incompetence. That's where I think Petula's got to be better.
That's, again, right. Right. I think Spags is going to do what you said, dude. He's going to do a little bit of what the Cowboys did. And also, he's going to go away from what he did in that Super Bowl. He can't put the same game plan on. They ran him over.
Well, he can't do that. And that's not a better game. You'd almost rather Saquon beat you because they score 28 points when Saquon runs crazy. Right. You took away Saquon and let the passing game get going. They dropped a 40 burger on your head in front of the whole world. Right. He ain't going down that road again. Riding the bench checks in with $10. Thank you, brother. Appreciate you. He says, do you think Jalen trusts the coaching right now? Remember, he went to Wink when he had his issues with the blitzes, not in-house. I wonder if he thinks that the coaches won't give him that insight like Brady had. It's an interesting thought process.
Because he did go to Wink after he lost that.
That was a while back. But
that was after the 23 playoff game against the Bucs that he went and asked him, Wink Martindale, who at the time was the D coordinator of the Giants.
The Giants, that's right. Yep.
Dude, I think he does. I think he trusts these people. I do. But I think, there's no coincidence that Brady had all these guys like Josh McDaniel and O'Brien, and he had Charlie Weiss. These guys were there a long time in New England, and they were able to develop them. Hurts does don't you agree the best coach he's had has been Shane Steichen?
Oh, yeah.
Look at what Steichen did today. I had to look it up twice and realize that was Dimes Jones playing
Yeah, I was gonna
quarterback.
say Shane's got friggin' the only
Believe it.
person he couldn't say was Anthony Richardson. I think we're all out on Anthony.
Yeah, I
Richardson
mean,
at
I
this point.
couldn't believe that was
Jalen is
Daniel
the one
Jones.
dude though that wouldn't allow it to happen. If the coordinators weren't teaching him shit, he would go around them like he did with Wink. So I think part of him thinks like Brady with that stuff. Now, is he getting the coaching? I have no way to tell. Prince checks in. What's up, Prince? Jalen is more confident. And from the game I saw, he's moving quicker and being more decisive. He's not indecisive like he was
I
last
think
year.
that's
Well,
a
he's
fair
ran a good more
comment.
to line of scrimmage.
I think that's fair. I think
Yeah.
that's right on. I that's what I saw in that game against the Cowboys. I agree with you, Prince.
Christopher Michael. What's up, Christopher? Thank you, bro. $10 super chat. Thank you, my man. He says, guys, I just want to say thank you both for giving us an out from all the evil shit in the world. And boy, Christopher, is there a lot of it. Thank you for giving us a platform to give our opinions to, even just about sports. As always, go Birds. Christopher, that's pretty cool, bro.
Great stuff, Christopher. We thank you,
my man. I appreciate you. Bud Scroggins checks in. Sills, how many games does it take players to get into game shape?
I think it depends on age. If you're plus 30, I think it takes longer. If you're under like 27, I don't like Parsons. Look, they're ramping him up, and he's a 25-year-old guy. So obviously, I think he's referring to Zadarius Smith.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming they're probably going to put him on a pitch count in this Chiefs game, but I would expect him in on third down and passing situations.
Yeah. No, I agree. I think you got this one too. Brian Pumper. Sills, can you break down how to read a D? You got that one, right?
I did. It's too much in the weeds with that stuff.
Yeah, Brian Pumper. All right, brother. Great show, man. I will
hey, I tell you
after,
what, Xander, I can't wait to the pregame show. I mean, Kansas City. I mean, so what was the score again you had?
I had 28-17. I don't think Kansas City's got enough on offense to score much more than 17 points. I know that Eagles defense is still unproven, got some holes there, but I mean, Dallas put up 20. They corrected in the second half, made great adjustments to Vic Fangio. I don't see it on that Kansas City offense right now. 28's a big number, though, for the offense, just considering that you're at Arrowhead, which is one of the hardest places to play. You are the dog. It is the home opener for the Kansas City Chiefs. There's a lot. By the way, how about this? Something you'll almost never see at Arrowhead. It's supposed to be 90 degrees in Kansas City.
You better have your
you only got frosted lip when you're fucking there,
your
dude.
mask on, bro. You better be ready to rock because you're gonna be hot.
Yeah. Rico, you're right. That would be a jersey giveaway, so we'll do it next week, my friend. We already gave away our first jersey, so good stuff. Sills, thank you, brother.
All right, brother. I'll see you this weekend.
All right, dude. Later.
One of my favorite segments. By the way, Mike North was spectacular on earlier. That's one of my boy Philly Godfather's favorite dudes. And wait a minute here. Let me get the book out here. Got to do it here. By the way, I keep it next to me over here because what I'll do is I'll sporadically just continue to read, and I'll continue to read it here. And man convicted on possession of marijuana. This is where I'm at right now. So I've got to put that back in here, and I've got to go over here with it here. So here is the man, the author, and the man that can make you some money. He is my friend, the Philly Godfather, and he joins us right now. How you doing, bro?
Doing good, Dan, man. They said it was a lot of marijuana. It was only 1,248 pounds.
Hey, just in those ammunition cans, right? Vacuum packed. I wouldn't know that. Someone told me. I don't know. So we'll leave it there. By the way, my friend, last night, Packers and Redskins. Sorry, I'm not one of those people that hides under my desk. There's no such team as the Commanders. I don't subscribe to that. So I am a Washington Redskins man here. So did it move the needle for you, Michael Parsons, on the Packers, especially what they looked like last night? Or is September too early to make an assessment yet?
Nah, they look like they're the cream of the crop of the NFC, and no one else is even close, to tell you the truth. The odds have shifted. Now they're the odds-on favorite to win the NFC conference. They're the odds-on favorite to win the NFC North, and they're a very dangerous team as long as Jordan Love keeps playing at that elevated level. With that defense, with Micah Parsons, he was in Jaden Daniels' face all night, even though he only had half a sack. He was in there. It's a very, very dangerous team. I ended up betting them to win their division -120, -130. I took 4-1 for them to win the NFC conference as well.
Man, Micah Parsons has made that much of a difference. and adding him to the mix there, that they've made them now the favorite to win the NFC and get to the Super Bowl in Santa Clara. Is that as big a shift as you've seen? Have you seen that before?
I mean, yeah, I've seen it before, but you got a Packers team that beat the Detroit Lions and the Commanders convincingly. The games weren't even
Convincingly.
and these were two teams that won 12 and 14 or 15 games last season.
Yeah.
Two playoff teams right out the gate. So this is a very, very dangerous team moving forward. As long as they don't get banged up with injuries, they're going to be hard to beat, Dan.
Wow. Packers are the favorites to win the NFC already. Let's get to the NFL this weekend. How'd you do last week, my friend?
We did all right on your show. We won more than we lost, and we made everyone some money. That Bills game was crazy. We kind of called that perfectly. We said the team that has the ball last is going to win that game, and it was a wild roller coaster ride. And how can you bet against Josh Allen? He's probably the best quarterback in the AFC right now.
I just said take the 17 off his chest and put an S there because that's what that guy played like on Sunday. All right, let's get started here. Jacksonville at Cincinnati. Cincinnati kind of stumbled around a little bit against the Cleveland Browns. Cleveland's got a good defense, though. I mean, Jim Schwartz is a good defensive coach. Not the greatest. Who would have thought that the Bengal defense showed up and would shut down? Now, the Browns are limited in what they did. This week, they got the Jags rolling into Cincinnati. Jags get an opening week win. Travis Hunter looked pretty good. I thought that Trevor Lawrence looked pretty good. I think this is a pretty interesting ball game heading into week 2 here. Who do you like here?
Yeah, it's a short line. Cincinnati's minus 3.5. The total's at 49. And honestly, both teams didn't look that great last week. This is one of the tougher games to handicap because if you look at the box score, Trevor Lawrence threw for like $180, maybe I think it was 178. He had an interception. His QBR was 68. And the Panthers defense ain't really that good. So they kind of shut him down. If it wasn't for Jacksonville with that ground attack last week and Bryce Young, I think he threw 2 interceptions and had a fumble. It kind of gave the Jags, the game, even though they won 26-10. The game was, it was given to them by the Panthers. The Bengals, on the other hand, I mean, the Browns had 11 more first downs. They had 186 more total yards, but they turned the ball over twice, and that was the difference in that game. So, both teams, won their, opening games, but those games, they could have lost those games. At 3.5, I think it's a coin flip. I kind of like the Jags a little bit, plus 3.5. But the only thing that scares me is, anytime Joe Burrow has a bad game, anytime he throws for under 200 yards, the following week he averages about 300 passing yards and over 2 touchdowns. So he comes out, on fire anytime he has a bad game with a chip on his shoulder. And that scares me a little bit. He comes out with a vengeance. But at 3.5, it's probably the right number. Jags plus 3.5. I think it's going to be a close game.
Yeah, I'm taking the Jags in this game. I think they end up winning that football game. I do. I think they do. How about this one? The Cowboys looked pretty good against the Eagles last Thursday. I thought they won the lines. Obviously, Dickerson was hurt and Carter didn't play. If CeeDee Lamb catches those 4, they probably beat the Eagles last Thursday. The Giants, they didn't really get any offense, and they're going into Dallas. Is Dallas rebound and get a victory and get to 1-1?
Can I be honest?
Yeah.
I think the Giants suck. I think their coach blows, and I think Russell Wilson should retire.
Okay.
I mean, he had a 29 QBR last week against the Commanders' defense. I mean, they're probably mediocre at best. And the Giants lost by 2 touchdowns, and they didn't even turn the ball over once. Usually when you get blown out, you got some turnovers, things happen in the game. This team just couldn't score. And now you got both teams on back-to-back division games. Giants are on back-to-back road games, if I'm not mistaken. The Cowboys' pass defense is a little banged up, but there's no way I put money on the Giants here. Line's 5.5, 5. I mean, I think the Cowboys win the game. Now, do they cover the spread? Probably at -5. I haven't bet it yet, but I would lean towards the Cowboys -5.
Chicago, Detroit. They had a 17-6 lead, the Bears did, in that game against Minnesota, and then they they just crapped the bed in that game. I mean, play calling with Ben Johnson was suspect, 2-minute warning stuff. And man, I thought it just didn't look well designed, some of the offense for Caleb Williams in this ball game. So Chicago, with all the investment that they've made in this offseason, will it pay off? Detroit looked like dog shit in the first game. I mean, they just looked terrible. The Packers took them to the woodshed. Do they rebound here to get back on track?
It's a tough game to bet because both teams are coming off losses, and nobody wants to start the season 0-2 in the NFL. It's a division game. Like you said, the Lions didn't look that great against the Packers, and the Bears kind of gave that game away to the Vikings.
Yeah.
So, it's 6.5 points. Detroit's favored by 6.5 points. If it gets to 7, I'll be the Bears big. And at 6.5, the Bears are probably still the right side for a smaller bet. But the Bears got a shot at winning this game outright. I mean, I think they can win this game outright.
Wow. Okay. So I am a Rams fan, but boy, didn't it seem that they limped around last week a little bit? They just couldn't seemingly get that offense going. They got a really shitty Tennessee team. These games are always kind of nervous, especially early in the year, because you don't really know what you're looking at. Is this a game you stay away from, or is this a game that you see some prospects where you can make some dough here? Because the Rams have to get that thing going, right? I mean, when do they kickstart the offense here? Because if they can't start that offense against Tennessee, they're not kickstarting that offense against some quality teams when they got to play a team coming up here real soon like the Eagles.
Yeah, I mean, the line's 5.5 and 41.5 at Tennessee. But that Tennessee team is so bad. Last year, they went 2-15 against the spread. And I had to bet them last year to have the worst record in the NFL. And I think them and the Giants tied for the worst record. But they only had 7 first downs last week, and they couldn't score a touchdown. If the Broncos don't turn the ball over 4 times, Denver would have won that game 30-0. And, the Rams aren't the healthiest going into this matchup. Their offense is a little banged up, but there's no way I'm betting the Titans at home here against a Rams team that could be in the NFC Championship game playing the Packers or maybe the Eagles. I like the Rams. There's no way I bet Tennessee. All that contrarian thinking's fine, but Tennessee's just really bad.
Boy, I don't know here, man. I was, I'm a fan of Drake May. I'm a fan of what the Patriots did in the offseason here. And there you got the phony Gucci watch and the phony Gucci bag, the Miami Dolphins this weekend. It's in South Florida, so the only reason I would pick Miami is because it's September and it's in a ton of heat down there and humidity that I would take the Dolphins down there. But, boy, you talk about a game that you have. This looks like the ultimate preseason game. Unfortunately, this is their starters. This usually, with the rosters that these two teams have, this looks like the Eagles practice squad going against the Patriots practice squad here. What do you see any redeeming thing in this game?
Well, like you said, Miami has the heat, but Tyreek Hill has a bunch of heat on him as well. I think he's
you bet he does.
Yeah, beating up his girl. Like, what's wrong with that, dude? Seriously, you're not.
Think about this here, Think about this here, Godfather. If this guy was the number 1 ranked player in the NFL last year, the players ranked him number 1. Now I know why the Kansas City Chiefs moved off him, because he's got low character. They didn't want him in the building.
Yeah, there's rumors floating around that he's going to end up in Pittsburgh. So they're looking to trade him. I mean, that's what I'm hearing. I don't know what you're hearing, Dan, but that's what I'm hearing.
I hear the same thing. Rosenhaus is trying to get him, and he's trying to get him to Pittsburgh. He's trying to get him up to New England. They need a wideout too. So they're trying to definitely move him. I mean, dude, I mean, would they move him back to Kansas City? I possibly don't think so, but they're never going to get the trade value for the guy because of the history now of the conduct. Yeah. You're not getting first rounders back for the guy.
Yeah. And before I break the game down, if he does go to Pittsburgh, that team becomes very dangerous. And that would be crazy if you see Aaron Rodgers in the Super Bowl against the Packers. That would be that would be crazy. But
DK Metcalf and Tyreek Hill as your wideouts
with Aaron Rodgers,
and Mike Tomlin, Pittsburgh would be frightening.
Yeah. So,
or if you put Tyreek Hill in Buffalo.
Yeah, oh my God, with Josh Allen.
Yeah.
All right, back to this game. Both teams are coming off losses. The Dolphins' loss was way uglier. I mean, they got the doors blown off by the Colts. What was it, 33-8? Box score, if you look at the box score, it's even worse than the final score. Patriots, on the other hand, they kind of kept that game close. They were competitive, on the scoreboard and in the box score against the Raiders. Dolphins opened up 1. It's up to 2.5, so there's some money moving on Miami. But if this game gets to 3, I'll be on the Patriots, man, +3. They were supposed to be the better team before the season started. Their expected win total was set at 8.5. Miami's was 7.5. You got all those problems with Tyreek Hill. Tua, I don't know what to expect from Tua. And the Patriots are better than they looked last week. If it gets to 3, I'll probably be on the Patriots +3.
Tua looks like he's regressing too. So, I'm not going to do the 49ers in New Orleans. I mean, I don't know. I mean, hey, you tell me, unless there's something there. No Purdy. You got the greatness of Spencer Rattler. It's in the Superdome, which is one of the more difficult places. I know this is going to sound crazy. I'm going to take the Saints in this one.
It's tough. I mean, like you said, Mac Jones versus Spencer Rattler. You got 2 solid defenses. 49ers don't have Purdy. I don't think Kittle's playing either.
Nope.
49ers are banged up. But as long as McCaffrey plays, I still think they win the game. The line's only 3. The Saints defense gave up, I think, like $145 on the ground last week to the Cardinals. And McCaffrey might get $150 by himself this week. He's so big to that team. As long as Mac Jones doesn't turn the ball over, I kind of lean towards 49ers. I haven't bet it yet, but if you want to bet them on the money line, you probably get the money. New Orleans is supposed to have the worst record in the NFL this season, man. They're bad. They're bad.
All right, so Superman versus the Jets. Jets didn't look that bad against Pittsburgh last week. I thought Justin Fields moved the sticks. He looked pretty good in that offense too, man. I was pretty impressed, but as everyone knows, I think of Josh Allen, just take the 17 off and put that big OS right in the middle there. So does he go into the Meadowlands and does he take care of business and do the Bills go to 2-0 on this ball game?
It's going to be a tough game. I'm big on the Bills this year. I took them 7-1 to win the Super Bowl. I took them -240 to win the AFC East. That line now is up to like -800. But this game might end up being a little closer than most people think. The lines are anywhere from 6 to 6.5. It'll probably close 7 by game time with all the public money jumping in. The total's at 46.5 or 47, depending on what sportsbook you use. Anytime you see a team, big comeback win, huge comeback win like the Bills had against the Ravens, following week sometimes they come out flat. Like you said, the Jets played the Steelers really tough.
They did.
They actually had 4 more first downs, like 120 more total yards.
Yeah.
Ed Oliver's out for the Bills. He's not playing. That's big.
Yep.
It's hard betting on Justin Fields. He scares me. He had a nice game last week, but he could implode at any second. And if he throws a couple turnovers, the Bills cover that game easily. I think the best way to bet the game is probably in a teaser. You can tease the Bills down to a pick 'em with maybe Baltimore -4.5, or maybe even the Chiefs +8.5 if you like that side. That's probably the best way to bet it. Just to bet it for the Bills to win the game.
All right. So Cleveland and Baltimore. I mean, Baltimore comes off that, you can make the argument that Lamar Jackson outplayed really for the entire game. And it was really that last fourth quarter where you saw 250 yards passing that Josh Allen just lit the place up. But, I mean, he didn't play bad, Lamar, in that ball game. Still some decision-making. But I tell you, there's a lot of heat coming down on John Harbaugh that if the game's kind of passed him by a little bit, his brother has got his Charger team headed in the right direction, right?
Yeah.
You got that Baltimore team. I mean, they got a lot of talent on this. And I don't know, man. I mean, I didn't see a really good performance against Buffalo. They gave up a crap load of points. Cleveland's got a defense, and I'm not saying Cleveland is going to put up a lot of points, but I think Cleveland can hold you in check. That's a good defensive. They got the best player in the game in Myles Garrett on that side of the ball. You think? How about this? Do you think they at least keep it under the under?
Oh, it's 45. The total's 45. The spread's 11.5, so it's a big number. And like you said, they hung around last week against Cincy, but this Ravens defense, I don't think they're going to allow that to happen. I mean, the Browns are catching the Ravens off of, a loss, which is never a good thing. You never want to play this Baltimore team off a loss. And it's Cleveland's second division game in a row. Honestly, this thing could get ugly real fast. I mean, Flacco's still out there gunslinging. I know he's 40 years old and everybody loves him. But he had 45 pass attempts last week. And anytime you throw the ball that many times, you're going to have a few interceptions. And last week he had 2 picks. He had 2 interceptions. If he has 2 interceptions this week against the Ravens team, they might win by 20. I think the Ravens, I haven't bet it, but I think the Ravens are the right side minus 11.5. And I'm not sure about the total, Dan, to tell you the truth.
All right, let's go here. How about the sneaky game of the weekend? And I want you to tell me what you make of this one. So Denver versus the Colts. Boy, if you want to make the argument, you could make an argument that a team that looked really good last week was that Indianapolis Colts team. Now, I don't know if they're motivated by the passing of Jim Irsay or what have you, but Shane Steichen moving off of Anthony Richardson and moving on to Daniel Jones. Daniel Jones was on the practice squad of the Minnesota Vikings last year after being cut by New York. I mean, you let Barkley go, and I'm not saying Daniel Jones is the second coming of Johnny Unitas or anything here, but I mean, he looked really good. This is an interesting game because Denver's got a good defense. They're maybe limited a little bit in their skilled people, but how do you see this thing here?
I mean, Broncos are 1 on the road in Indy. Totals 43.5. And like you said, Danny Dimes looked really good last week, but he was playing Miami's pass defense that was really banged up. Now he's going up against one of the best defenses in the league that's 100% healthy. But still, I think it's a field goal game. You got 2 good coaches. You got 2 solid offensive lines and 2 really good defenses. Game's going to be tight, but I just think the Broncos are a better team. And, the final score last week in that Broncos game looked a lot closer than the game really was. If they don't turn the ball over 4 times, they kill that team. And the Colts, they caught Miami at the right time, all banged up. Kind of like the Broncos -1, but it's going to be a close game.
Atlanta, Minnesota. What do you got here in this one?
I kind of like the Falcons here, +3.5. I mean, they let that game slip away against the Buccaneers. And, in my opinion, and J.J. McCarthy played great, and it was a great comeback win. Nothing against, the Vikings, but they were gifted that game by the Bears coaching staff with all the brain cramps.
17-6 lead in that game.
You're not supposed to lose that game. And you know what? Michael Penix, he's getting better and better every week.
He did. He was good in that ball game.
He threw for almost 300 last week. He had a touchdown, no interceptions. And I love quarterbacks that throw no interceptions. The Falcons defense, they held that Buccaneers offense to just 16 first downs. That's not easy to do. Baker had 67 passing yards.
He missed a ton of open throws too.
Yeah, so
I mean, he really won that game with his wheels by moving the sticks when he ran the ball.
Yeah. So I like Atlanta here +3.5. I kind of like the under 2. You got 2 really good defensive teams. The under is 45. I think the Falcons +3.5. You cash a bet if you want to get a little ballsy. You take them on the money line and you go under 45.
I'm going to do the 2 Monday night games here, and I'm going to give you a little intel, and you tell me if I had this intel. As you know, I do a morning show in Tampa. Tampa's going to be without Luke Gedeke, their right tackle. So, last week they moved their offensive line around. They moved their center to the left tackle position. Wirfs has been put back on, and I don't know what the injury report said today, so it may have him as questionable. But they're going against Danielle Hunter and, Will Anderson, 2 great pass rushers. Houston dropped one in the opener here, man. I got to tell you, I'm concerned about the offensive line for the Bucs going into this game. You got a good defense on every level. The defensive line, linebackers, Stingley in the secondary. I mean, this game's good. I think this game's a coin flip game.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, Houston's a -2.5 point favorite. Total's 42. It's a low total, so it goes to show you the odds makers in Vegas, they're not expecting a lot of points here. Houston held that Rams team, to what? 2 touchdowns.
Yeah.
So, and Tampa Bay's offense is a little banged up. Nobody wants to go 0-2 in the NFL You might be right. Houston minus 2.5 might be the right side. I haven't bet it yet, but I haven't researched it enough. But from what you're telling me, yeah, maybe Houston minus 2.5 is the right side.
Chargers and Raiders. There's 2 Monday night games. Boy, the Chargers look good. I got them winning the West. I think they win the AFC West, boy. And I'll tell you, I think the Raiders have improved. I mean, the last 2 draft picks, Bowers is injured from what I'm understanding, but Genti, boy, he looks like the deal, man. He didn't really show too much in the opener there, but I don't know, man. Looks like, Pete Carroll, Billy, all the Eagle fans and Buccaneer fans may not like this, but Devin White had 11 tackles last week. He looked like he was pretty good last week on that defense, and Pete Carroll was raving about him. But, boy, man, I really like the Chargers, man. And, I know it's too early right now, but, boy, you talk about an impressive team. That's how you take apart the Kansas City Chiefs, and they did, I thought.
Yeah, and I'm big on them too. I got them at 30-1 to win the Super Bowl. So I'm big on the Chargers. But they're going to, play a Vegas team that has Pete Carroll, Chip Kelly, offensive coordinator, 2 great minds. You got Geno, we talked about it before. I think he had the 4th most passing yards in the NFL last season. But Bowers hurts. I think he had 100 receiving yards last week, didn't he?
Yep.
That hurts. At -3, I'm not betting against the Chargers on Monday night. But we still don't know, everyone that's playing and not playing in the game. So I would pump my brakes, gather as much information as possible on the matchup before you place that wager. But as of right now, I would lean Chargers -3.
Let me get some college games from you.
Okay.
Colorado, Houston tonight. They play Deion last week. Again, they ended up getting beat a week ago, but now you have Houston. It's in Houston. Houston's a pretty good football program. Now, I don't know what they're going to expect from that team this year. I thought Colorado, they had a lot of holes in this there. You think Colorado goes into Houston and wins this ball game here?
It's a tough game. I think Houston, who they played? They played Rice. They covered a 14-point spread easily. Colorado lost to Georgia Tech?
Yep.
Haynes King. How do you stop that guy from running around? That's a tough game. I think the spread was 4.5. Gun to my head, I'd probably bet Colorado plus the 4.5 and probably look to play the under. You got 2 pretty good defensive teams, under 45.5.
You don't think Wisconsin goes into Tuscaloosa and beats Bama, do you?
No, I think they're like 21-point dogs. I didn't even look at that game, but I don't see that happening, man. Alabama needs a big win. They need to win with style points. They got to come back strong.
Do they cover?
I don't think so. But, like I said, I haven't really looked deep into that game because of the large point spread. But Alabama's got to win big, and they got to win. They got to win with some style points.
All right, Georgia, Tennessee. It's in Knoxville. Yeah. Georgia's one of my teams to be in the Final Four. I think Tennessee's good. What do you like here?
Originally, the line was 7, and it went down to 3.5.
Wow.
Yeah, and now it's going back to 4 a little bit. It's the market's faded Georgia here, and I don't know why. Georgia's beaten this team 8 straight times. They currently have, I think, the 3rd best odds to win the national championship at like 7 or 8-1. But like I said, the market's faded. The Bulldogs. I know Georgia's a little banged up on their offensive line, and they lost 3 or 4 starters on that O-line of the NFL last season. And their quarterback, he hasn't really wowed anybody, that kid Gunner. And he's kind of unproven. But I'm not really sold on that Joey Aguilar kid from Tennessee either. He's had limited experience against top-tier competition, and season looked good against Syracuse and East Tennessee State.
Yeah.
But now you're going up against Georgia's defense. Last year I think he threw like 14 picks at App State. So if he goes in there and throws a couple interceptions, this game could get ugly, especially with a short spread. If you can find a 3.5 and buy the hook down to 3, I think Georgia's the right side. I don't know what the market's doing or why it dropped that much, but I kind of like Georgia here, man.
I got 2 more for you. All right. There's a big game going on down in Florida. And I got to tell you, man, what's crazy about this game, you want to hear something psycho? You ever heard of CW Network?
Nah.
Okay, right. Well, the CW Network is airing this game because in the preseason, the networks get to pick, and then CW is some sort of – I thought it was an app. It's a television network, and they've got USF versus Miami. So it's not on this would be a game on ABC. They've beat Boise State. They went into Florida, and they beat Florida. Miami, of course, beat Notre Dame in the opener. This USF team is pretty good. I don't know what the point spread is. I don't know anything in this, but, I mean, Miami take care of business in this game?
This USF team, I mean, like you said, they beat Boise State by 17 points, and they were 5-point underdogs in that game. And then it came out, and they beat Florida outright as 18-point underdogs. They're really like the Rodney Dangerfield of college football. They don't get no respect.
I can't believe it either.
Yeah, and this game is up to 17.5. Miami's favored by 17.5 points.
I think USF can beat them.
I don't know, man. I mean, the market always finds a way to correct itself, right? So coming into the first 2 weeks of the season, the Bulls were definitely undervalued with 2 outright wins as underdogs. Obviously, they were undervalued. But after 2 weeks, I think the market's going to correct itself. And as of right now, they're actually getting all the public money. Over 65% of the early action is on South Florida. They're not betting Miami, the public. And that kind of scares me. And you're watching the line go from 15.5 up to 17.5. That's called reverse line movement. So anytime the public's heavy on one side and the short money's driving the line the other side, you got to be careful here. Now, the Bulls got a great head coach. What's his name?
Golich.
He's a great head coach. I just think that Hurricanes defensive line, I mean, they created so much havoc.
And O-line.
Yeah, their O-line is what, top 10, maybe top 5.
Yeah,
but
top 5.
Against Notre Dame, I think they sacked Carr 3 times and they were in his face all game.
Yep.
And I got Notre Dame's offensive line ranked a lot higher than, South Florida's.
Yeah.
And what's that quarterback's name? Byron Brown. He can run around a little bit.
He's been fantastic.
But I don't think he's going to be able to do that against Miami's defense. No. And, I don't think USF can establish the run against his
get 30-17.
I think it's going to be worse than that. Maybe like 37-17, something like that. This is a big letdown spot for USF after beating 2 ranked opponents. It's hard going back to back to back and just keep beating these teams. But if they do beat Miami, they might be capable of beating anyone. And I don't think that's
Let me tell you the quick story on the way out here. The last time a team beat 3 ranked teams at the start of the season was my 1987 Miami Hurricane team that would go on to win the national title. Okay, 1987, the last time that's happened, beating 3 ranked opponents in the top 25 right out of the gate. And it was my team that was the last team to do that. Folks, if you want to get any more information, make sure you check out the Philly Godfather. Make sure you check out the book as well. We appreciate you, brother. We will catch you next week. Have yourself a great betting weekend, and we will see you next week.
Good luck, guys.
You got it. That is the Philly Godfather. Pay some bills. Xander, we're going to do a quick one here. Hey, our good friends at Morgan & Morgan. I can't believe it. This is my only stop set we took. For almost 4 hours we went. How you doing? That's what it's called, juniors. Bang. Number 1 injury law firm in all of America. That is Morgan & Morgan. Folks, I tell you this all the time. If you want to have your family protected, you hire Morgan & Morgan. Thousands of attorneys from coast to coast will make sure you and your family is well protected. It's the easiest decision you'll make. Go to forthepeople.com/big sales or pound law 529. That's for the people, FORthepeople.com/big sales or pound law 529. And do me a favor, you tell them Big Sales sent you.
This is Eric. When he got injured in a car accident, he called Morgan & Morgan. He not only gets a lawyer, he gets trial lawyers like Sam and Jessica who are in it to win it. He gets his own investigators with briefcases, leather ones. And if you ever have questions, our customer service folks keep things rolling. Injured? We're your army. Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm.
Should be a great football weekend. By the way, don't forget, pregame show will be with you on Sunday as we get ready for the Kansas City Chiefs and the Philadelphia Eagles. Then we will be with you for the postgame And we will have that for you. We've got, again, like I said, I got like 34-17. I just can't see where Kansas City rolls into this football game and has enough offensive people. There's a lot of folks, though, that are saying betting against Mahomes. It's like betting against Brady. Have yourself a great football weekend, great college on Saturday, football on Sunday. We will see you on Sunday. Xander, Joe, thank you. 2 to 6 on Monday. We will see you on the flip side.